Wow.
We'll be starting shortly. Channel member, make sure you register. Leave a comment and pop the chat.
One other thing, we are going to do our best to not be potty mouths. We have guests tonight, which will be very interesting, but we are going to be on our best behavior. We're going to try.
Good evening, kids. Uh-oh,
I've got
I got something happening. I'm hearing an echo. I know what it is. Sorry about that, guys. I hope everybody can hear me. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Friday Night Flicks. Brother Paul Mills, channel member, what is up? Brandon, what is going on, buddy? Crazy Roach, channel member, what is going on? I wasn't trying to be spooky yet. I did modify my mask today with my little Dremel that came in. That's a whole other story. Brand new American, welcome. Channel member, we've got Colby in the house. We've got Ginger Fisher in the house. Marco's in the house. Channel member Jim Tregliafera, Lucky Dog Knife Company. The star of tonight's show, who we will be talking about, who has got some amazing designs that I'm going to let him share with you. I shared a review today, kind of a short term review. Crazy Roach, been a member for 9 months. Thank you, brother. I so appreciate the support. make sure you get up and leave a comment in the giveaway link. For the members this month, we are going to give away the SIG S30V K320 Tonto. Fantastic USA made knife, blacked out, super sharp. And then we've also got a really cool knife that we're just going to give away, but there's a caveat on that one. It will not go out until Monday because I've still got to do my review on it. I've been carrying it. It's a great knife, but I've got to get it on tape. Lee Wolf is a new member. Thank you, Lee. Buddy, I appreciate it. Yeah, Jim, and it's going to be, like I said, so far there are not many people signed up, so you guys get in there. I thought about doing it tomorrow during our channel members live, but I just posted that, and that's so hard for people to join. That's why I always say all you have to do is leave a comment. You don't have to be present for the live stream if you're a channel member. We just kind of do that as a thank you. You know, I wish I could do it more often, and I will come to a place where I can do it more often when I'm back in the working, getting the, the check so I can buy the knives. But yeah, so there's some good odds tonight. And then the other knife, I was wrestling with a little fixed blade and this knife, which is the CNB Lurker. I have been reviewing this knife and a knife that's not my normal jam, but this knife is not only an exceptional value, it's a G10 G2 super sharp, full-sized work knife. And it's very snappy. It's got a regular flipper tab and it's got a deployment slot. But that's going to go too. And that's brand new. That hadn't even cut paper yet because, like I said, I've got to, if I review it tonight, I will send it out tomorrow to the winner. El Cap Addict, new member. Thank you, brother. And worst case scenario, the winner will email me and I will send it out Monday morning. But I'll do my best to review it tonight. It's not a really long review, but I do want to point out a couple of things that I find really special about this knife. For one, it's a right under $60 knife that right now is on sale for, I think on CMB's site for about $26. And it's on sale on Amazon for about $30. And I've enjoyed carrying it. I like a full-size knife because it feels like a tool. It's chunky. And I think it'll make somebody a great knife. So we'll give that away. And who knows what else will happen. But we've got special guests tonight. I know we've got Andrew Kidd coming from Lucky Dog Knives to talk to us for a little while. He's still got a few of these left. And then I think David Mary Customs, the gentleman who actually makes these knives, my understanding is, and I'll let Andrew tell you about it. My understanding is he designed these two small fixed blades and works with this gentleman in Canada who's a maker. Aries, what's going on, buddy? I'm glad you stopped by to say hey, bud. Have a great evening. Get some rest. And yeah, dude. Good to see you, always. That's another great maker. If you're not following Aries EDC on both YouTube and or Instagram, and I'm going to drop his link in here because he shows so much knowledge, I guess is a great way to put it, because he does a lot of his stuff on camera. For example, he'll do the shop videos quite often. And if I was you guys and you like that kind of stuff and you like small fixed blades, give Scott a follow right here. You won't regret it. He makes some really cool stuff. I've got one of his little knives. 5-door, that's great, buddy. Good to see you, man. Good to see everybody. 1931 Leatherworks. I'm missing so many people because I know we've got a couple of guests coming in, and I'm really stoked. Because I don't know if y'all saw the review I did on this little knife. This is the Lucky Dog Ranch Dog, a little 6-inch 3V Spay blade. I think it's Bacardi and Wingay. They also have this in micarta. They have it in bone, and they also have it in a shape called the guard dog is the name of it. And I want to say the shape they refer to it as a sheephawk. So I'm going to show y'all a quick flash of that and then get back to the chat. But that is the other blade style, which I think is really cool. And we have some guests. Andrew, are you there? I see your screen, but I don't see your camera, which is fine if you don't have your camera on, but I don't want to pull you on prematurely. There you are. Can you hear me? All right, guys, I'm going to try to pull Andrew up. He's going to thumbs up me when he wants me to pull him up. All right. Guys, this is a young man by the name of Andrew Kidd. Well, that's 2 Ds. He is a USA designer who, hold on, let me move this. Boom.
There we go.
How are you, buddy? Let me turn off our peaceful music.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Thanks for having me on here. Oh.
Myself, I just somehow threw myself out.
There you are. Yeah.
Yeah. What I tried to do is I tried to go back to show all your knives, and I of course just took myself out of the stream. I do that all the time. I'm such a pro at this. Not what I wanted to do is while you chatted, I'll let you chat first, then we'll show some knives. Because is David going to try to join us, or did he have a time that he wants?
I think he will a little bit later. Yeah.
Okay, great. I was just showing off the and I took it off screen, but I was just showing off this knife that's not come out of my pocket since I got it from you. And I don't know if you saw in my review, I'm always real transparent with everybody. When somebody sends me a knife to review, I'll let them know. You know, they send it to review. I'm either keeping it or I'm sending it back, whatever however we decided. And I had planned on sending this back to you, right? I was going to keep it for like a week because you only had a few. I was going to review it.
Right.
I rarely, because right now I'm not even working in my primary job. So I haven't been buying knives, but this little knife spoke to me so much. And I think it's the Spay blade. I could be wrong. It's the construction for one. I've never had a knife that had natural wooden handles. And what I did, I don't know if you can tell, and I think y'all had done it for the picture, and you might have used some axe wax, but I put a little wicked wax on it from Dupree's Fords, and it just really conditioned it. And it's such a great size. And the more what's scary is I've been kind of scared of it. Is it called the sheep's hawk on the guard dog?
Yeah, that's what I.
How hard is it to sharpen? I'm sure you can sharpen it with 1-inch stones on a fixed system. Because it doesn't look like it's got much of a curve to it. Have you tried to sharpen it?
Actually, I haven't yet. No, because it's been sharp.
You won't need to, but I would think you'd be able to with a 1-inch stone, because when I was looking at it, it doesn't look like it's got, for example, this is what I consider a very aggressive hawk that was sent to me. That's very scary. I know I can't sharpen that. I'd have to send that off.
Yeah.
But the little guard dog looks like it is subtle enough to where with a 1-inch wide stone, possibly a 2-inch, you could easily get it edged out. Yeah, hold that up. Let me make you big. Yeah. Now that's a tiny bit longer than the ranch dog, right? Just a tiny bit, like
like 1/8 of an inch maybe or so. Yeah.
It looks so ergonomic. I mean, it looks like that little dip, I assume, at the front is where you can put your finger if you're doing a detail cut. The little dip at the spine.
Yep. Yeah. I kind of made it just like a little box opener, really. Just something that, stuff you use every day.
And that's what I think is so neat about, and again, when I kind of jokingly talked about cutting vegetables, vines, fruit, things I don't cut, but things that I think normal people could really utilize either one of those designs for, because they're so, whether you're skinning a dove, a trout, cutting vegetables out of the garden, whittling, doing what, opening Amazon boxes, which is what I do, or
Right.
therapeutic
Yeah.
cutting paper. It's just a great tool for all those things.
Yep. Yeah. Just like my dog wants to go out here.
Oh, no worries. They come first. I'm waiting for my cat to come back to the door. What's up, Greg? Good to see you, buddy. R. Shear, good to see you, my friend. All you channel members, make sure you register for the link that's pinned up top for the SIG K390 knife. And then there'll be that other giveaway for just anybody. So y'all hang tight. This is Andrew Kidd of Lucky Dog Knives. And he's telling us kind of the story of this small batch of knives he had produced, which I don't know the story. I'd like to hear it, but I'm really impressed that someone with your design experience who worked on a design didn't take the normal route of going to Best Tech, or someone where it would be probably easier and make you more money. You instead sought out a quality maker who I've got his Instagram pulled up too, and I've been looking at his knives. How'd y'all form that
Yeah.
relationship? Did y'all know each other?
Nope. Actually, after I got the idea of trying to maybe do a knife company, I just went on bladeforums.com. I've been kind of poking around on there for the past few years, but I just started looking around and I found David on one of the forums. I just reached out to him, and because he had like a whole list of different options that you could do to make.
Yeah, he pulled up he was very Google visible, not
Yeah.
only in forums, but the accolades to which he was written about. And then of course it took me to his Instagram, where I was able to look at some of his work and just wondered how, I think it's so, for me, I think it'd be so much more challenging, because I know what it's like to find a USA manufacturer. And to me, North America is North America, and I'll get a lot of hate for this, but I think it's great that you found someone here that's actually hand making knives. And I know you have them water jetted and do things like that,
Yeah.
but each one of them are slightly different. I can't stress enough how you can tell that the jimping is absolutely done by hand, and it is so comfortable. I don't know if the guard dog has it, but I know I know the ranch dog has it in 2 places.
Right. Yeah. Actually, yeah. Jimping on the little guard dog one here.
And this jimping is, I call it sharp, but I don't mean sharp as in cut you. I mean sharp as in hold your grip. And in conjunction with the swell, or the reverse swell that's cut into the front of the handle, it just makes for a delightful feeling. And that's what my channel's about. I haven't gone out and cut a bunch of rope with it, but at 60 HRC 3V, I know it'll cut as much as I would ever be cutting. But I can tell by the way it makes me feel when I hold it, when I death grip it, and I've cut through so much cardboard with it. And it's just such a flat ground little workhorse because of the way the blade shape, but then also an absolute slicer. I think you nailed it. And again, the guard dog is very, very interesting. I think you came up with 2 great designs, and you sold more of the guard dogs, right? They've been more popular out of the gate.
No, actually, I've sold only 1 of those, and 8 or 9 of the ranch dogs so far.
Yeah, I've got them right then. The ranch dog's the spay, like I've got.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of confusing when they both have the dog in the
Well,
name.
I'll find a way to buy a guard dog, because I think I can sharpen it. Hold that thing up again. I was looking at because what you include on your website. Let me jump to the website real quick. But what he includes is a schematic, which I think is very helpful, even though I can't read schematics, but it helps me because I'm such a visual person. So you can look at the actual knife. Let's look at the Bacati. I'm saying that wrong.
Yeah, I'm not trying to pronounce that myself. Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, the whole the edge on these and the jimping, that's all David. Because I mean, I just basically sent him what you see there, this drawing.
Right.
So I mean, he did an excellent job. I was really impressed by the jimping when I
Well,
got
that's
these.
why I'm wondering. I mean, it's so rare from the people that I know to find that type of relationship where you can share a design to a custom maker. Because I've looked at his knives on his Instagram, and we'll look at them in a second. He makes a plethora of awesome designs.
Oh yeah,
But for him to say, "I'm going to pause for a second and work with you," and I can see why he would believe in your design. I think it's a great, it's a hopeful situation for designers or people who have designs who may be looking for alternative ways to have them produced, right?
oh yeah,
Because I mean, this is a handmade knife. It's not
right.
a it's not a production knife, and it feels that way, which is to me is a great thing.
Yeah, I was also amazed how they all are a little bit different and have a little bit of character, but they're all basically the same too.
Yeah, the only difference I could tell was like a tiny variation in the sharpening choil or a
Right.
tiny variation in the jimping, which just tells me it's a handmade piece of art.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what amazed me by it was how he has the plunge grind so far back and covers it with the scale. So that sharpening choil, if you look at the sharpening choil, it's an absolute clean run on a stone. You're going
Right.
to have no chance bumping a stone into that plunge grind because he's tucked it back or behind the scale.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is typically if I show you a plunge grind on a knife, you'll see that it starts way up front and angles back, right? And that's the thing where the blade gets wider. And this has got a good one where it'll sharpen out fine. That's Tri-State's knife. But what David did off your design is the plunge grind comes back and it's absolutely parallel with the scale. So if you look at that choil, which I'm not doing it justice, but it's coming nowhere near that plunge grind, which in my opinion is done just brilliantly. That's
Yeah.
the blade length. I measured it out at 2.25. I could be wrong because my memory sucks.
Oh,
Um,
it's 0.6.
yeah, 2.6. And I can't read tapes very well, but
Yeah.
it's just a really fantastic design. And the retention, because of the way he integrated it into the front of that handle, is next level.
Oh, right, yeah. They're very tight in there.
Edgy. I talked to him earlier. I sent him a message. Something that's so weird that one of our buddy, his channel, Tri-State EDC, last night was not struck, but pulled off YouTube. He got a notice today because of nudity and sexually graphic material, multiple violations that was pulled, which is an oversight. It's got to be a mistake because he's an EDC channel.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, so but now he's got to wait till Monday. He's worried. He's a big channel. He does a lot of I think work with other companies. So yeah, that's nobody knows Edgy. Did you see the letter? The letter is here, let me pull up the letter because the letter from YouTube says it was because of bad content, but not the content that would be thinking that we were not making tools or showing tools. Where was it? Who posted it? I'd have to find it. Somebody posted it earlier, the letter, and he posted it in his story. So if you can find his stories, you'll see the letter. But it's got to be, unless, because I don't watch his lives, but I don't think he's ever gotten naked or done anything close to that. I mean, he makes jokes, but they're typically PG. Unless they count those one-piece rompers he wears. So are you in, and I'll forget, I want to say it's not Iowa, or is it?
Yeah, Iowa, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I did remember. Great. And when, like, Canada for David, is that West Coast where it's earlier there, or is he late night here? Is he on the eastern
more-
seaboard?
Yeah, kind of East Central area, but I think he's on the Eastern time zone though.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think he was around is it maybe a little north of Ontario, maybe?
I gotcha.
I remember right? Yeah.
So are you told me earlier when we first talked that you were going to take this, once you moved these 19 or 18, I think it was 18, you were going to are you going to do another run of the same knives, or are you designing other designs as we speak? Because I think you've got 2 winners. And you've made so few of them so far.
Right. Yeah. I do have a couple more just drawings at this point. I've been getting a lot of inspiration just kind of from old kind of classic slip joint type patterns and kind of seeing how they might fit into a pocket fixed blade style.
Which is a great market. And I apologize. Tell the people your background, because I know it's on your website, but
yeah, I have a graphic design background. I've been a graphic designer for over 20 years now. I guess I own my own graphic design business for about 11 years, and now I work at an ad agency. So I kind of have the art and marketing type of background. Then I guess I've been just kind of getting into knives. I don't know, past 10 years or so. Just kind of watching. I think I found your channel maybe a year or so ago.
right.
Then I'm watching some other ones, and kind of started a little bit of a collection of different ones, and kind of gravitated more towards like the kind of more the traditional kind of patterns with more, they have a little more character to them, I guess, because
Sure.
I kind of was more towards like the kind of cool like tactical style knives and that kind of stuff. But now that I'm getting a little more to my collection or getting a little older, I kind of like the ones with a little more kind of history behind them, that kind of thing. So
You and Pocket Metal, the gentleman that usually joins me on Friday nights, and he might jump in here in a little while.
yeah.
He is a traditionalist. I mean, he collects slip joints, and he gives me the hardest time about any modern traditional that I try to put off as a traditional. So
Oh yeah.
he does appreciate the hand crafted element of knives, right? As opposed to something that's thrown together in production, mass production.
Yeah. And I might try to find another partner maybe to make some like a larger run maybe at some point. But I mean, and I definitely like to use David for, because he actually does pretty interesting handles on some of his knives that I didn't really utilize much on these. There's a little more simple design, but he can do some really interesting handle configurations of things of different materials put together and that kind of thing. So maybe I might try to do some kind of special run type things with some kind of fancier handle materials and that kind of stuff with him in the future. But
And I love the micarta. I love the red, and it looks like the guard dog you had an olive colored, almost like a paper micarta.
yeah, I think it's a canvas micarta.
Canvas.
This you can see it there.
Yeah, I mean they're just beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful little knives, and I think they're so handy from a size standpoint. And a lot of these guys are bigger hand guys, but I let my buddy A to Z, who's a really big guy. A lot of these people know him. He goes to Blade Show with me, but he's not very active on YouTube. He's on Instagram. But he even thought that it felt good in his hand. And I mean, he covered up the handle with his big sausage fingers, but it was a very comfortable knife. And I think what David adds, what time frame, and you don't have to be specific, but for you to get 9 of each produced, is that something that's going to be prohibitive to your growth?
Let's see. I'm trying to think of back. When
Now
did
that you've done a few, I would think that it would be a little bit speedier, maybe.
I think trying to remember exactly now. I've been kind of doing this for like the past year or so, but I think maybe it was on March or April time when I first initially started talking to him.
Gotcha.
Actually, the interesting thing is we had a timeline of November of this year to have them ready, but I think he had them done in, was it mid August or so? He had them shipped to me.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
he was way ahead of schedule. So it kind of almost caught me off guard. I kind of had to finish my website real quick and try to figure out a plan to sell them because all of a sudden they're ready to go. But yeah, it
You
wasn't.
just put your marketing brain into overgear, and it's always good to
Yeah.
underpromise and overdeliver. I mean, especially for a relationship that could go forward. I think I think he brings or someone that's I think by having them custom made after you've designed them is kind of unique. I'm sure there are other people that do that, but for what I've been experienced to, you've got the separation between the custom maker and the designer that typically goes with an overseas company because I hear it's prohibitive to find anyone in the States. And again, when I say the States, I look at the continental North
Oh,
America. And I know it's not the same. What's
Yeah.
up, Bama Ninja Timmy?
yeah, it was. He's been wonderful. He's been kind of guiding me through this whole process because, like I said, this is my first designs of the knives, and I didn't really know what I was getting into, but it was just kind of something I kind of thought maybe I could do it, and why not, I guess, and just give it a shot. So I thought I'd maybe, invest a little bit of money into it and see kind of where it goes. So I guess I'm kind of at that point where we'll see where it goes from here now. But
Well, I think it'll only go, and I think you can grow at the pace that you want to. You know, if you wanted to go and get them mass produced, you could because I think you've got very unique designs. I think you've got designs that, to me, like the little spade blade, it does have those flashes of old. This is David's page, guys. This is the gentleman that makes these knives. So he makes other knives too, right? He is a custom maker by
Yeah.
every stretch.
I think those are there. I think he makes those for another.
That's a wicked little guy. I like it. That little bottom one.
Yeah, I think it's called the.
Let me find it. I saw it earlier.
Yeah, maybe
Right
that yellow.
here. That
Yeah.
little guy.
Yeah,
The bitty bitty baby birdie. Bitty bitly baby birdie.
yeah, because I have. Where is it here?
I mean, that just looks like a little slicer.
Because I had bought one of these. Yeah, because I had bought one of these from him. The little called the
Ooh,
fried
yeah.
liver attack. Just to
That's a
just
great
a nice
shape.
little utility blade.
Now, that looks like a slicey,
Even smaller
slicey.
than. Yeah. Yeah, there's.
It reminds me of my Spyderco Watu blade. I mean, it just looks very thin and ooh.
Yeah, comparison. So it's very small, but the blade's about the same length as the one you have. But yeah, very, very slicey for.
Well, your design is very slicey. I mean, it's super thin.
Yeah. I was really impressed by how thin they are and how wonderful they cut through daily things that we use knives for. So
Yeah, I mean, I think it's done exceptionally well. I mean, the grind on it's beautiful too. I don't know if that's hand or belt, but neither way, it looks great.
yeah, actually I'm not completely positive on that either.
I've got the stray cat sitting at the door. I won't leave it here, but I've got it's not stray, it lives up the house, up the street. But I made the mistake of giving it Temptations, those cat treats that I give my treat cat. And it comes and just hangs out at my front door. I keep my storm door open and it sits there like a statue and just cold stares me for an hour at a time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Tippy, my cat's on the steps, won't come up because they kind of like each other, but they've also fought pretty hardcore. What's up, Knife Nut 69? Welcome. Make sure you leave a comment in that pinned link, buddy. That giveaway is going to be later, and you do not have to be here to win that. And then we'll do our other giveaway at some point tonight too. But yeah, so if you, how many do you reckon do you have left in inventory that are available for people to buy in this one?
I think I'm 8 or 9, maybe.
8 or 9?
Yeah.
Good mix between the guard dogs and the ranch dogs?
Probably, I think I have like 5 left of the guard dog.
Gotcha.
Like 4 or 5 or whatever it is. Yeah, so about half and half, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, great knives, guys. And I think a really quality maker and a quality designer. And again, it wasn't a knife I planned on putting in my collection, but after they ship with, and like I said, in the video, you've got many carry options because it's got great grommets, but it ships with a discrete carry clip, which my carry consists of either an ulti clip, which I've noticed they rust pretty readily. I've got to constantly be derusting it. And then I've got discrete carry clips, which work very well. And then I do straps if I want to horizontally carry it. And this is right at that size at 6 inches where I could wear straps and carry it at my appendix and not know it was there.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
just like it as a pocket dropper.
Yeah,
And I like the way that you've got your holes where it rides deep in the pocket. So you've only got that much coming out, which is plenty
Yeah.
to get the knife out with the lanyard.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want it to stick out too much because I know it's kind of annoying sometimes. But yeah, at first I was thinking I was going to do like a leather sheath for these, which I might do in the future, but they're just much more expensive to have.
They are, and everybody. What I've learned, and I've tried to when I consult with people, and I know Edgy American, my buddy Shane, he will sell a knife for X amount without a sheath at all because so many people have like Oak City leather or Lancelot leather or someone that they have that makes their sheath, and they're going to have something more personalized like the knife, right? So if you dictate the sheath, you've got that investment, and maybe 60% will keep it in the sheath. But it's like the Bradford Guardian 3. I don't think I've got it in here. One of my favorite knives. The sheath is a drawback for me. I would rather have that in Kydex or in a way that I could mount it easier horizontally. So I think if you stick with Kydex, if it's cost effective, or even make that option,
Right.
without a sheath, if you've got a leather maker, and then maybe work with people like Oak City. He's in Chattanooga, and basically, if you send him a knife, he will put it on his website with he'll make a sheath with your knife, and then somebody can choose your knife from the pull down and order an Oak City leather. And then you just say, I've worked with Joe at Lancelot Leather. I work with Oak City Leather. So you can order the knife without a sheath, or it'll come with Kydex for a few dollars more, right? And that way you're not having to get into the leather sheath business, but you've got some partnerships that are US makers that are strategic that are kind of benefiting, but you're making a percentage of that margin too, right?
Yeah, actually, I did reach out to the guy at Oak City Leather like a long time ago, just kind of, seeing what was out there. But
I would reach out to him again and let him know you've got them and say, I think they're going to be really popular. This first run's done great. What if I sent you a knife and he'd send it back just to template it? Would you add it to your collection? Because it's a benefit for him to have it as an option.
Yeah, that's what he said. He, would, like I said, went into him. He could make a template out of it and go from there. But yeah, this was like before I even had these done or anything, so I didn't have anything to send him yet. But yeah, then
I'm in the minority, but I prefer Kydex. I'm a Kydex guy. Now I do have a couple of Lancelots and 4 Oak City because I always pocket drop. But for me, Kydex is lighter. It doesn't seem I seem to get more corrosion issues in leather because I keep my knives in leather. So I prefer the Kydex, but I think if you give that option, if there's a couple of patterns out there where a customer could choose, to with go a sheath, say $15 or whatever. Ulti clips are great.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, because originally, or one of the first pocket fixed blades I have is this MKM macro.
I love it. That's one of my favorite knives. Yep.
Oh yeah, and I really like this little leather sheath. But I know not everyone likes these as well,
but that's a very well made sheath. I've got both macros and the micro. I can't get to that one. But they both have fantastic little leather sheaths. I went ahead because I'm a Kydex guy. I bought the carry kits for all 4 because I've got the macro 1 and 2, and then the micro 1 and 2. And the Kydex kits, even though they were like $35, they come with a perfectly molded Kydex sheath, 2 leather straps if you want to carry it appendix style or on your back, Comes
Right.
with
Yeah.
an ulti clip, a branded ulti clip, or a leather strap. So you've got several different ways to carry it with that carry kit. So I've got some of mine. I might as well get it out. I've got too many knives. Here's another Oak City leather with a discreet carry clip instead of just a regular clip.
Yeah, those look really nice, city ones. I might have to just get one for myself and see how it is.
I think you really like it. So here's the micro, but it doesn't have, that's not the carry kit. That's just the little leather kit for that MKM little micro too.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember those came out. I was
But
gonna get,
again, it was a great sheath, and I used one of mine for another little knife, but I still bought the Kydex kit. So even though they invested in including the sheath, I use it about 50% of the time.
yeah,
And I'm sure I might not be in the majority, but I'm sure a lot of people are like that because this is really set up. I forget how the macro is. The macro, you can flip it over on your pocket, but that's a little weird.
Right.
But this is more of a pocket dropper or a neck knife, the way that this sheath's made.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, the macro one was like over your. Oh,
They balance so well, though. Yeah, I mean those are the best knives, I think. Literally, I bought the one, I think the macro one first, and then I bought a micro one because I love the drop point. And then I bought the macro two. I bought them all from White Mountain Knives before I had a channel. Because I was weird. I swore I'd never be interested in fixed blades. So for the first year and a half, I was folder guy, budget
Oh,
folder guy.
too.
And
Yeah,
then for some reason, I think I got a SE3 in stainless steel, which was too big for daily carry. But then when Lefty EDC, a buddy of mine, got on a chickadee phase, it kind of got me thinking about a small fixed blade and using it as an enhancement to my carry. And as I started carrying a Tucson, because I couldn't afford the chickadee at the time, but a little Tucson that was similar in S90V, I realized that I was using it for most of my tasks, opening packages, opening reams of paper. And I just really liked it. So I started, I guess because I'm an addict, getting quite a few fixed blades. And now I've got a shitload.
yeah. Yeah, I think at my first fixed blade, little fixed blade was the SE Azula.
Great knife.
Yeah, that was a great little size and everything. So then I kind of just went up from there and got this MKM little more carryable, friendly. I mean,
But
for like,
your design is even more carryable than either of those. I mean, really, it's I think a more functional knife.
yeah, yeah,
And I had the little Essie Kandiri that's smaller than the Azula. It's a tiny little knife because that was
yeah,
kind of my deal. 6 inches, 7 inches, and smaller are kind of what I gravitate towards. And then
right,
I've
yeah,
got a few big knives for when I go camping, and if I want to do some, I've got. This would be considered a big knife for me. This is a TRM Redline fixed blade. So that could be considered an EDC knife, but for me, I think that's a 5-inch blade. That's more of a camp knife, a hiking knife, really going out and prepping vegetables or something knife where you've got a purpose. I rarely have that kind of purpose unless I've got 3 Amazon packages coming in one day.
yeah, right. Here you go. Yeah, I was kind of the same way. I kind of started with kind of the bigger, almost bigger tactical type knives, and I kind of, shrunk or gravitated towards the kind of smaller, more utilitarian ones with like a little bit of character to them and that kind of stuff. But
All right.
yeah,
I mean, it's interesting to see how all of our collecting went because I started even back in high school with the mall knife store that had the fantasy knives and the throwing stars.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I'd get stuff like that, that I never cut with, but I just carried it around.
yeah,
And then in college, I got some, a buck 110 that I still have. And then when I was a kid, still got an old case fixed blade that I used to carry dove hunting. That's probably 45 years old. So knives have always kind of been part of me, but it wasn't until the lockdown till I really got into the whole watching YouTube videos, buying knives, understanding different knives and stuff like that.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't really been into it. I mean, maybe the past 10 years or so, but I didn't really, I guess, grow up really having many knives or using them very often. So it's kind of a newish thing for me, I guess, but something I
10
really,
years. I mean, for me, literally, hey, Mad Yako, good to see you, buddy. Make sure you leave a comment in that video that's linked up at the top. But yeah, I didn't really get into it. It's been 3 years, maybe 4, because I think I watched content and participated in lives a couple years before I ever started a channel. I was more knifey. That's why my reviews, they're not always new knives. There are a lot of my older knives that I think are still really good knives.
yeah.
But when I quit, because my job situation changed about a year ago, a little less, but I was buying knives all the time. And what it made me do is forget about a lot of knives that I owned. And when I got back into just kind of going through my collection and doing some cataloging and stuff like that, I found a lot of good content with some really good knives.
Oh, yeah.
And then realized I have way too many.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting there.
Way too many.
Yeah. Yeah. If you ask my wife, I'm already there, but.
Oh yeah. See, that's something that I know was I still in that situation, which I was happily married for 20 years, have a wonderful daughter who's in her 20s and out of college, but I'm happily single. I'm no longer a voluntary hostage. But I would no way be able to run a knife channel and try to justify the money that I spend on knives for content because I don't make it back. I mean, I don't make the ad revenue back to where the only knife, and this is funny. Where is it? I think it's over here. This little guy is a Midgard Messer magnetic sheath finger hatchet that's got jimping all the way around it, little titanium handle, and it's worthless. I don't know what you'd cut with that, but I'll do shorts on this, little 15-second shorts. And this has probably gotten in total 300,000 views. Every time I post a short, it gets over 10,000 views because people watch it. So
Yeah.
maybe this has gotten close to paying for itself in ad revenue. I doubt it because shorts you make, 20 cents for every, I forget how many thousand views or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's funny, the knives, and I've been amazed that fixed blades get on average 10 times the views that any folder content I make get. Fixed blade content is where it's at for viewership for my channel personally.
Oh, yeah.
You can look at my videos and you'll see where my folders stop and you'll see where my fixed blades stop. You can look at my top videos and they're all fixed blades.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They seem to be a lot more popular lately, even just the past year or so.
I think EDC fixed blade from Google Trends is one of the most used search term in the EDC knife bubble on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of something that hasn't really been explored. I mean, a ton until recently.
No, but have you noticed how many people are jumping into it? Everybody from Jack Wolf to Vero. I've got because I'm an Axon guy. I've got the one Vero folder, the Axon, and I bought his fixie when it came out. This is the Vero Axon fixie. Now he had this made by Best Tech. Just like my Griffin Scout, they sent those off the plans overseas and they came back. But the knives aren't made. You can tell that even though it's a pretty knife, this is a production knife.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And to me, they're big differences. And I hope other people see those differences. And they're not that, to me, a handmade knife has more imperfections. It just has more soul.
Well, right. Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's a good way to say it. Yeah, it's not like it's not good quality or anything. It's just
No, it's just got more control in your heat treat, more control in your manufacturing process, and more soul because it's made by a dude.
yeah. I mean, it's a one-off basically knife.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
cool. And I think the and I don't mean this as a negative, but the simplicity with which your design flows makes
Yeah.
it more accessible to more people in more use scenarios.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. I was kind of, you know, it probably comes through, but like on this ranch dog one, it's kind of a Barlow inspired design with the handle especially. And then I just kind of like the spade point or spade blade on it. I mean,
No, I
but
love
yeah,
that
it's
spade
very
blade.
simple.
That's something to me that's so unique, and the jimping make that knife just stand out. I've never seen anything like it. Now I've got and seen the different side busters, the different knives that the case with the spade blade and the other blade, but never anything that's just so unique.
Yeah, yeah. Same with the on this guard dog one. I kind of took for the handle shape. I kind of looked at like the sodbuster kind of style, the tapering, and I kind of just followed the lines to the. I thought it went well, complemented this blade shape nicely with the little bit thinner blade or a little
I
bit thinner.
love that. The only thing that I wonder is the sharpening of it. I mean, I like I think that you call it a sheep's foot or a hawk. What do you call that blade?
Sheep hawk. I kind of
Sheep
combined
hawk. Yeah.
yeah, kind of the sheep foot on the tip
It just
there.
doesn't, and I don't know enough about sharpening. I wish Kyle Coonley was on here, but I almost think you could sharpen that regularly and not have any problem.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty subtle, the curve on it. But
Yeah, I would
yeah,
love. I mean, 'cause I think you could take that platform if you wanted to, Andrew, and add a couple more blade shapes. If you ever got to the point to where instead of going into a totally different lane, which of course you might want to because of sizes, but that would be very lend itself to a nice Warncliffe blade shape. Could
right,
lend
yeah,
itself to, even some more wacky blade shapes. I don't like that one as much, but I ordered this little guy off Amazon. Where is it? And it reminds me of a Nessmuck. I don't know what you'd call that blade,
oh yeah,
but this is just a cheap D2. But the way that the blade geometry is done, it's just so slicey.
yeah, that one looks nice. Yeah,
I mean, they're just some different blade shapes, I think, that lend themselves to. I I could be wrong, and I have no data to back it up, but I think just from watching what makers are doing, that small fixed blades are on the rise in terms of popularity. I think
yeah,
folders are still. I think the knife industry as a whole is growing, which
yeah,
is a good thing.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of pretty new into all this world, but as far as having a knife company and stuff, but um, I would agree with you. It seems like the fixed blade industry is kind of growing and kind of expanding out. Well, even like Civivi has been doing that lately too with that little baby banter
Yep,
fixed
the
blade.
baby banter and Kaiser has taken their
Oh
most popular folder, like the Militar,
yeah, that
and
one.
they've created it. This is an Amazon exclusive in D2, but they've made a fixed blade. So it tells me that if big companies are pivoting with their
Yeah.
designs to fixed blade designs, that there must be a demand for it. Do you know Bob DeMarco?
No, no.
Bob DeMarco has a podcast called Knife Nut Podcast. He's kind of a fixed blade guy, and he does it every
Oh,
week. I will make sure you have his contact information. I think he might be a good guy to reach out to. If you ever want, considerable exposure, I think he would really appreciate what and how you're doing what you're doing. And he
yeah,
gets a little different audience. And I just think, if you're a marketing guy, I know because that's where I come from. That's what I did corporately for about 10 years. And I know how hard it is for Knife, Pew Pew, and other like vape companies to advertise traditionally. You can't
oh
do the
right,
things on search. You can't do the things that other companies do. You're hobbled. So the more exposure we as a community can get you, the better off it is, because you're really limited to your options. And I don't know how many consumers realize that from getting the message out there, social media is really all you've got, and social media hammers you every day. Hey, we've got David here.
Right.
David, thumbs up me when you want me to pull you up, buddy. All right, David is ready. Hey, we've got David here.
Hey there.
David, thumbs up me when you want me to pull you up, buddy. Yeah, you'll probably want to turn off the actual stream.
I better turn that off, the music. Not the music, the speakers. That had a little echo action going, so I was caught between two worlds, the past and the present.
Hey, your work is amazing. We were just talking about it.
I watched your review that you did for Andrew's ranch dog, and man, I have to say, so I call you Juvan, right?
You can call me John. That's my real name.
John. Okay, John.
Javon, I used to have Jay Evans as my YouTube name, and one of the YouTubers, my buddy Cole, couldn't pronounce it, and he called me Javon, and it stuck. When I got a channel, I thought I'd just go with that.
Okay, that's cool.
So anything, I've been called so much worse. You can call me anything.
Well, I'll call you John.
That's perfect. That's my God-given name.
Your review was very generous and very kind. I still have a hard time thinking of my work as anything special because I was there the whole time and I've known my own struggles. And so I know that I love knives, and a lot of guys out there love knives, so I try to serve them, and that's what keeps me going. So thank you for your very kind review. And
well,
you have a way about yourself too, the way that you speak, and it's very relaxing and calming. So that was cool.
Well, I appreciate that. And we were looking at your Bitely Baby and some of your other designs. I mean, you've got some beautiful, beautiful knife designs. I shared your link, your Instagram link in the video as well, because I mean, how long have you been at this?
So it started as a hobby in 2015, and I was clueless and fumbling in the dark for basically 5 years or so. Started to have a handle on things, no pun intended, by maybe 2019. And then on Blade forums, I started selling a little bit here and there. And then the lockdown period of our history is when I basically had no choice but to just jump into it because I was laid off. And then a few months later, they tried to call me back and they said, oh, here's going to be our new normal. We've got plexiglass between all the workstations. You have to wear a mask. You have to give us your temperature every day. I'm like, no, thanks. I've got something going here. I'll try to keep doing this for a while.
Exactly.
And, yeah.
I think that whole time got a lot of people into it's when I kind of got introduced back into the community. And I think the community as a whole, the people were supportive and the knives were so cool. And to continue to be doing it as long as I've been doing it, which is not very long, but then to discover someone like you and Andrew, who I don't even know existed, and see what y'all are doing is fascinating to me.
When Andrew approached me with his designs, I thought they were so cool. You've got a couple of basically inspired by slip joint knives, the traditional style. And here's a young guy with a neat idea for a fixed blade and to kind of give it a modern spin with CM3V and everything. And I mean, how could I say no to that? And he's down to earth. He's a really friendly guy. And so, I mean, he's been great to work with. And I'm very blessed for someone like him to come to me and ask me to do something like this.
Well, I was telling him earlier, I think what you have is a very special relationship because so many of the knives that I've picked up over the years, a designer sent them to Best Tech or sent them to somewhere and gets a bunch of them made, right? And they don't have that soul that each of these knives have. They don't have the unique nature.
A handmade knife definitely has its appeal, and you're going to have, you'll be able to see the slight variance, and a lot of people like that. Frankly, that's been a bit of a source of insecurity for me because I see all those production knives out there and how they're all perfect, and there's other companies that use machining processes and things like that. And so sometimes I kind of beat myself up a little bit when things don't look exactly the way I intended them to. But I've learned doing this these last 4 years that a lot of guys really like that aspect of a custom knife.
That's what gives it soul. And I don't know if Edgy American's still in the chat. He started making knives by hand, and everyone, and my buddy Jason Grant makes knives by hand, and something about the unique nature of every one gives it value to me, makes it special. I mean, it's not just something that, and I love CNC design knives. I'm a big fan of them. It's just, I don't want all my knives to be like that. I love a handmade knife. Hey, Nolly Charlie. Y'all stick around. We got a giveaway in a little while. No, Tri-State's going to be back. That was a mistake. His channel, I mean, they sent him a letter saying it had to do with nudity and other stuff. He's a straight up EDC guy. Something AI caught his channel, and that's weird. One of our buddies, a pretty big creator and a really nice guy, probably one of the most talented with a camera, or amongst the top 5 with a camera, woke up this morning, no strikes, and his channel was removed from YouTube.
Yikes.
And he got a letter from YouTube saying it had been pulled because of multiple nudity and sexual violations, which has nothing to do with,
probably none, right?
no, his content is knife reviews, and he does them very professionally with what do you call them, cut edits and a lot of photography blended in, where he works with a lot of companies that use his videos for their promotional stuff, because he does professional videos where I just shoot down in iPhone. So no, he hadn't done anything like that. That's why it's so bizarre.
That's weird.
I think it'll be fixed out by Monday, because I've heard that happens from time to time. That's what's
that's
scary.
what happens when you trust robots.
Yeah, and I started, and I'm not a big fan of any this or that, but I did start a Rumble account about 3 weeks ago and started uploading my videos also to Rumble. Nobody watches, but just to have a place for my content to live in case at some point the social media that I use decides it's not desirable. What's up, Maddie? Maddie, these are the guys from Lucky Dog Knives in the house sharing their skills.
Want to say hi, buddy? Say hi. This is Smokey. Smokey the fluffy kitty.
Hey, Smokey. I wonder where Tippy is. Smokey is very fluffy.
Yes.
He looked kind of manky.
Pardon?
He looked like a Manx cat almost. He looked big.
I've always assumed he's a, what's it called, a Maine Coon.
Maine Coon, that's what I meant. Not Manx, a Maine Coon.
But I don't know for sure because I got him secondhand. But
cats seem to find us. In my experience, the cats that I've lived with, and I've always had cats, they find us at the weirdest times. Kyle Coonley, there you are. Kyle Coonley was the one I was saying. Why was I saying it would be great if Kyle Coonley was here? What were we talking about, Andrew? Something that he's an expert in besides sharpening. I forget what it was.
I don't remember.
Ninjutsu?
I do that. I've got real bad ADHD. And it could have been... But Kyle, these are the Lucky Dog Knife Company guys who hand make these little fixed blades. They're designed by Andrew in the top left or right, depending on which side of the screen you're sitting on. And then they are handmade by, I believe it's David, right? In Canada?
Yep.
And there were originally 18 of these. This is the ranch dog, which is a little spay blade. And Andrew's got one, which is a guard dog, which is a, and I always mess it up, sheep's hawk?
Yeah, that's what I called it, a sheep hawk.
Neat design. And we're just talking knives, buddy.
Saying it's a clever name for his blade shape because he's got sort of a hawk bill, but it's also really close to a sheep's foot. So
I know what I was going to ask Kyle now. I'm going to make you big for 1 second to show that. And Kyle's the sharpening guy. He's a sponsored and affiliate of TS Prof. They're a great sharpening company. And I want him to see if that knife would have to use a 1-inch stone. Or Kyle, look at the aggressiveness of that hawkbill. And what would it need to be sharpened? Would it need a 1-inch stone, or do you think you get by with 2-inch stones? And I'll make him small and wait for your answer.
Am I allowed to answer?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I would 100% recommend against using a flat stone for that. I would use a radius stone like a Spyderco Sharpmaker with the corner, or like a Lansky croc stick rod, something that's got a round corner. Because as soon as you use flat on an inner curve like that, any kind of an inside radius, you're guaranteed to be lifting up part of the apex of that edge off of the stone. So you're not going to be getting full contact at each point of the curve. And
yeah, even with it that slight, because it seems like a slight. I would see on an aggressive hawkbill like this.
It's really slight. It's a pretty subtle hawkbill.
But you still want to use that rounded stone to be safe.
Because to me, I mean, I'm no expert. I mean, I shouldn't really be saying that, right? That I'm not an expert.
You make knives.
But I'm not.
You get the expert in the group.
So if it's really thin, it's easy to sharpen, right? But in my opinion, you want to have continuous contact from heel to tip with whatever abrasive that you're going to be sharpening an edge with. And so that's why I would always use a radius on anything from a hawkbill to something like a serrated edge.
Sure.
The radius will get inside there, and you'll touch the entire edge on every stroke, on every pass.
Right.
Consistently.
Yeah, Kyle seems to think, and again, he uses, I think, 2-inch stones, that the curve may be enough to keep flat on the stone, but you know probably better than us.
You could, but when you're dealing with a hawkbill, then you're going to have to start worrying about sort of changing your angle depending on what point you're at.
Right.
In the pass.
That's true.
Whereas you can keep a consistent angle on a radius. I mean, I don't mean to.
Well, I would think at a 60 HRC, you're not going to have to sharpen it that much.
Come again?
I would think it's going to hold an edge at a 60 HRC for quite a while.
Yes, but any steel will dull with use, and if you're using it hard, like my neck knife. So I don't know if I should show this. I had a couple blanks left over, but I didn't want to make a lucky dog knife. So this is actually was a guard dog, but I modified it for my own uses with Andrew's blessing, of course. I wouldn't just use it without him agreeing. And I can use it for a lot of hard tasks, and it'll start to dull like any other knife steel. It just takes longer. But if I want to keep honing it, then like you need to hone it periodically, even if it doesn't seem like it's slowing down, just because that way it'll always stay crisp. And
just keep the ceramic rod is basically what you're saying. Just keeping it honed out so you don't have to do a full sharpen on it.
Agreed. Yeah.
Could you show that handle off again, David?
Sure.
Let me make it big so they can see it.
I was telling them earlier, maybe it'd be cool to do some like kind of fancier handle versions in the future, because the ones we made now are kind of simple. But I was telling them.
Oh yeah, that's got that has like a lot of ribbing. That looks nice. Is that micarta?
Thank you. Yeah, so it's burlap micarta at the front and back, and there's a piece of stabilized spalted tamarind in the center there that was a scrap left over from a custom I did for a gentleman, and then 2 pieces of Dymalux, cross-cut Dymalux on the outside of the spalted tamarind, and of course orange G10 liners, and a paracord fob.
It looks the same orange, and it's thick, so it looks like it just extends your grip. That's beautiful. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Where's everybody else go? Where'd David go? There he is. Somehow I tried to take him out of solo view, and I put myself in solo view. I love you did a red, almost like a red, white, and blue micarta, if I'm not mistaken, from the website that was on one of the knives. That was not just the red micarta. It was not.
So it looks like a trout pattern, except with the American flag.
Yeah, kind of that way. Is that just a material you got and you were able to make a few handles out of?
Yeah,
That was
so that's from a place called GL Hansen and Sons. GL Hansen, I think his name is Greg, and so they make micarta from a variety of different fabrics, and they've got all kinds of patterns. You can get something that looks like an actual trout, or that American trout that I have there. This here is from
not very good.
GL Hansen. This was sent to me by a gentleman who wanted a custom with that on there. The name of this one is Ginormous Fighter. That's its actual name because I'm not that creative.
Oh, but you've got some beautiful ginormous spider looking knives on your Instagram page. We were looking at them earlier.
Thank you.
This is that American trout, guys,
So
with the bone.
Yeah.
You might be able to see it better there.
So the people that make that micarta, they're basically, as far as I understand, just a family-operated American business. So that's one of the things I like to do is, keep the money as much as possible in North America. I'm Canadian, but I view my American neighbors as just that, neighbors.
That's what I was saying earlier, and I might be different, but I think of North America as American made. I don't draw a distinction between the two.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Because again, it would have been more. I mean, so many people just go overseas, and you don't have to. I mean, you can keep it here in the conjoined states, and I think it helps everybody.
Agreed. I mean, you want to keep manufacturing at home, right? And the government, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, you do. And you want to, especially with craftsmen, which people that we have a small enough community where we're not buying need items much. It's usually more of a discretionary purchase. And that's why it's good to support people that are close.
I buy my steel from the USA. I have USA companies either laser cut it or water jet cut it or plasma cut it. I have heat treatment done in the States by Peter's Heat Treatment or Jared Todd. And what else? Most of my handle material comes from the States, but I buy a lot of it through a reseller in Canada. I do have some Chinese pin material that I'll show up with sometimes, and little things here and there that I don't
get away from.
It's hard to get away from it, and sometimes, admittedly, it's really hard to beat the price that can be offered on stuff like that. But I'm not going to blow a paycheck, like an entire paycheck worth of materials on something like Amazon or, places where it's not doing something to help American or Canadian families.
Right. Put the money in the facility, the smaller places that and can have a relationship with, where you can make a phone call. I think that's a great philosophy, and I really think you guys have a fantastic thing going. I really hope that these last few knives sell out, and you guys can go to the next project, because I think you've got something really special. The designs are unique; they're so functional. I don't know if you were here earlier, but Andrew sent me one, and I was going to use it for 5 days, not use it hard, but review it and send it back. And I carried it for probably 4 straight days, and I reached out to Andrew and I said, I want to buy this knife because I want it in my collection. It's not one I want to send back, and that's rare for me because I get a lot of knives sent to me that I send back.
No doubt.
But I love this little guy.
That's good to hear. You were saying the right wood, by the way. I read, was it in the review? It's Wenge up front and Bacote in the back.
I'm terrible about that. I worked in a cabinet shop forever. Kyle asked, are you getting the blanks ground when water jet?
No, I grind them by hand.
No, Kyle, they're ground by hand. But good question. Kyle is our resident. He's going to start spending some time with me on Friday nights and helping people learn how to sharpen. Because he does, like I said, with TS Prof, which is a Ukrainian company, if I'm not mistaken, that makes fixed angle systems that are really good. I've got one, but they're tricks to any system to use and make it functional. And he's just great at it. He put the edges on several of my knives. I'm getting ready to send him an A100. Stuff that I don't feel comfortable sharpening, I send off to him. What's up, Greg? What's up, Terrence? But no, guys, it's awesome having y'all stop in, and y'all are welcome to hang out as long as you want. I'm going to check. I'm going to go back here and see if anybody has entered our member giveaway.
What are you giving away, John?
I'm giving away a K320. Well, I'm giving away a couple of knives, but the knife that I try to do a member giveaway every month at least. And I'm giving away this Hogue Sig S30V K320 Tonto.
As soon as you said K320, for some reason my mind heard K390, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a cool steel.
No, it's not that, unfortunately.
But
It's
that's
this
cool
30V.
knife.
It's a good knife. And then I'm going to give away a little knife that I've got to review. It won't go out till Monday, but I'm going to give that out to just anybody in the chat. But the members don't have to be here. I just wanted to see how many had signed up so I could push them there. But again, the less they're there, the more chances they've got to win. So right now, we are at looks like 25 thumbs up, so probably less than 25 comments. Michael Upchurch has been a member for 13 months. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, dude. Just got a KB Hound Ultim Crux car spar on the washer. I apologize for my mic, guys. I'm doing some kind of weird echo. Maroney, you ready to jump into it? You don't have to be here to win, but let's do this. Let's go. Let me pull it up. Let me just pull up the giveaway tool. And we will give it away. Comment picker. I got to get the link. Uh-oh. First off, before I do that, I've got to make sure everybody that's a channel member, Maroney, have you had a chance to leave a comment yet? Because once I get ready to pull this giveaway, I've got to make the video unlisted so it'll let me pull the comment. So give me ones if all the channel members have had a chance to sign up. If you haven't, just throw a 2 in the chat. I'll give it about 3 minutes. Hold on, I'm going to let my cat in, guys. I'll be right back.
Having fun, Andrew?
Oh yeah, I'm not the best at chatting online, but
Well, every time you open that mouth, words are coming out, so I think you're doing something right.
yeah.
So what's next for Lucky Dog? You thought about any new designs yet? Not that we should reveal too many plans on a public channel.
I do have a few more sketches right now.
Nice.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Anything for anti-dinosaur swords or anything like that?
Not yet. I don't think so.
Not at this point.
Maybe not. Maybe next year, but we'll see.
Nice. Is that Finn I hear?
Yeah, he's whining at the door here.
Oh, he wants out, does he?
Yeah, he keeps coming in my office and out. He went in and out, in and out.
Sorry about that. I've got a cat that likes to hang out on the porch in the evenings, and when he's ready to come in, he's ready to come in.
Yeah.
Here's Kyle Coonley's affiliate link, guys. Where'd it go? There's his sharpening service, and his affiliate link is right. Yeah. Yeah, apologize for that. It's funny. I've got a gray cat that just comes around. I've got the yellow cat that thinks he partially owns me, 2 possums, and like a family of raccoons. And they'll hang out on the porch at the same time. I've gone out there. The possum will run off the porch, and Tippy will just be laying my cat right beside it. It's bizarre.
Yeah, my grandma was the same way. She had a bunch of raccoons and possums and cats all over her back door all the time.
All right, guys, I'm making the member video unlisted so he can draw. I hope everybody has gotten in that wants in. I'm just checking. Twang Thang's been a member for 18 months. Twang Thang, I hope you entered for the K320. Tell me you've left a comment. It's pinned at the top of the chat. So I'm getting ready to pull her down. Let's do this. Let me get unlisted. It's so tricky to do these random YouTube giveaways when you set it as members only. It's easy on the other. Let's see if I can pull this up now. Hold on. And then I'll share the screen once I see that I'm not making a fool of myself.
Members only, like subscribers to your channel?
Well, I do 2 giveaways. I do a members giveaway, people who support the channel once a month, but I do a giveaway. I never promote them, but I do one every week. I try to give a knife away just to anybody who's here. Let's see. Let's paste that. This just happens to be that one members giveaway. Let's see if it'll let me do it. 37 comments, guys. The odds are good. All right. So, guys, this is for, we'll do another giveaway later tonight, but this is just for, where'd it go? This is for the SIG K320 bolt action, or not bolt action, bar lock. Fantastic knife. Has some of the best ergos in the game. So y'all sit tight. I'm going to pull one more time. And go 9. Boom. I hate doing math. Get unique comments. 37. All right, guys. Good luck. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? I hope it's Maddie. I'm pulling for you, Maddie. 17 months. Thank you, brother.
It's a good system you got there, John.
Thank you, buddy. It's a laptop, and you've got a little soundboard.
I'm talking about your nice transparent raffle system, like the.
Oh, thanks, dude. That's just a YouTube free plugin.
Oh, is that right?
I can share it with you if you ever do stuff like that. Jay Pitt, and Jay Pitt does not have to be here to win. I just got to write his name down, and I'll reach out to him. Hold on, kids. Congratulations, brother. Are you in here, brother Pitt? Sorry, Batty. You'll win the next one, buddy. Is Brother Pitt in here? I can reach out to him. Let me find, where was it? All right. That was J Pitt 70. Congratulations, buddy. You're going to like the knife. And this lurker's a good knife, too. All right. Congratulations. Congratulations. So what do you guys have on the agenda in terms of the next move? Congratulations, Pitt. I'm going to throw up real quick. Hold on. Where is it? Boom. That should have thrown. Did it do it yet? Shoot me an email. I think I've got your address. Just shoot me an email, buddy. I'll get you mailed out tomorrow. I've got to send some knives back to Marco. And I'm going to try to do the review on the other giveaway knife late tonight so I can send it tomorrow, but it may be Monday. But there'll be another giveaway coming up, guys, shortly. So are y'all going to do another run, Andrew, or what's the plan?
Yeah, I hope to.
Good.
Yeah, I've sold a couple today and a couple earlier this week, I think. So I think I'll have to talk to David there and see kind of what his time, schedule is for doing some more. If he would like
and
to do some.
I have to tell Andrew something about that. something I haven't told you yet. I think it's appropriate to reveal this publicly. Your next run is gonna end up costing you a good deal less because, well, I already have a bunch of the blanks and I've already got the stencils made up for your maker's mark and so on. So yeah, when you're ready, hopefully I can help ease things along by dropping the price per knife a little bit for you too.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
That's awesome. I was hoping you guys were going to have the time where you would have the time to continue to make these knives because I think they're so special. Happy birthday, Pitt. But that's awesome news.
Yeah, I know he's probably busy himself doing always doing other knives, so I haven't really talked to him about timeline too recently about doing more, but I would love to produce some more here.
Y'all go check out Lucky Dog Knife. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. It's also in the description of the video I put up today. But again, if Andrew hadn't reached out to me, I would have never probably known about them. And I was so enthralled by what they looked like, I didn't expect to have the feeling that I did when I got it in my hand, which was overwhelming in a good way.
Yeah, I guess kind of what you were saying earlier about the kind of being like, shadow banned basically on Instagram and some other social media platforms. Because I've before contacting you, I tried doing some Instagram ads or Facebook ads and that kind of stuff, and I even had some where I had just the knife in the pocket, like you didn't even see the blade at all.
Just the handle sticking out.
Yeah, and that was denied. So
you know why?
Anything.
People, they used to not do this, but it's the landing page. So what they do is we used to have advertisers tone down their ad copy because that would get you through Google or Facebook's ad restrictions. Then they started having their AI go to the click-through or the landing page, and if they saw what they considered objectionable content, it didn't matter what the ad copy looked like. It's where the leading click went, if that makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah.
So what I've learned a couple of things about Instagram, because I had for a while a professional account, and I noticed that I was, for all practical purposes, shadow banned, and I wasn't getting any followers. And a buddy of mine, and I got to the point to where every day I would have 5 posts flagged where I had to fix them because I wasn't being visible to anybody outside of my follower group. So I'd fix them, I'd appeal them, and within 24 hours they'd be fixed, but automatically I'd have 5 more flagged. It was like the AI was getting it. Twang Thing gifted a membership. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, dude. But my buddy Pocket Metal explored and checked it out, and he went to a personal account, changed back to a personal account. It doesn't change anything about the people you can reach with your message, but he quit being flagged. And then I learned from another guy, Jim Skelton, who's very popular in the community, that he had been shadow banned, where people would search for him on Instagram and they couldn't find him. He wouldn't show up. So what he did is he didn't delete his account. He put instructions on how to do it, but it's real simple. He went in for a weekend, let people know that he communicated with that he was going to deactivate his account. So he just deactivated, which puts it behind the curtain. You can log into your Instagram anytime and it'll reactivate if you want it to. He waited 48 hours and it made him more searchable.
Oh, wow.
So there's little tricks to try to, instead of just, because what they'll do is they'll continue to constrict your reach. So if you look at your analytics, you'll see that you're maybe reaching 99% followers, 1% outside of your group, right? But there's so many people that aren't following you that follow the same type of companies. So the goal for me as a marketer is to get someone like you in front of those people who might not have discovered your brand yet.
Right.
Because that's where your growth comes from. Organic growth's the best. Like this, people talking about your knives, who've had your knives, y'all having the time to get in front of people and show your knives. But I think there's a lot of hope in small batch manufacturing right now. I only speak for myself, but I think a lot of people are getting numb to all the huge runs that are coming out. I think people like me, especially, a small batch knife.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, because the first one I bought from David was this little
I
fried
love
liver.
that knife.
Yeah, and this was kind of I just bought it, before he made any of mine, so just to kind of see, just to confirm the quality and everything was there, and I just love the quality of this is
David, do you
impeccable.
still
So
make the bitty bitey baby birdie?
Sure do.
I love that knife. How long is it? Is it 5 inches?
Yeah, about 5 inches, 2-inch blade, I think.
But you don't have to hold me to it, but ballpark. US dollars.
Well, at the currently, I was
Hit me high.
base pricing those at 105 US,
Dude, I love that knife.
and that includes the sheath and shipping to continental USA. Well, anywhere in the USA. Or
I'll pay shipping. I will buy it for that and pay shipping, but I'll reach out to you. I love that little knife.
I love
Some
when
people aren't like that.
artists pay more. Sure, you can
Well,
pay.
no, I'll pay for the shipping for sure.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't like little knives. I love them.
Little knives are great, but they have to be well thought out. You need to be able to get your hand on it, and that's why I use a paracord fob on those ones.
Which makes a huge difference. And
Yeah.
the ergonomics of this knife in your hand, let me share it real quick.
Did you get one in your hand at some point?
No, I was just looking at the picture of it in your hand.
I
Right.
would have one to show right now, but I don't.
Right there. I love the way it angles the blade towards what you're cutting.
Oh yeah, that one. I was very happy with that one.
Just a beautiful little package.
Thank you. You can probably see that a lot of my aesthetic influence is from Spyderco. They're one of my favorite knife companies.
Well, you couldn't have picked a slicier company to model them after. But your designs, to me, and I see a lot of knives, but they all look very unique.
Thank you. Yep.
Very unique and well done. And they look like you've got a purpose for each one of them.
I mean,
I love
ultimately,
that.
the way I see a knife is that if you can hold it and it's got an edge, you can cut with it. So the rest is just style and preferences, and for me, just what do I want to see that given day? Like, what do I want to make? Unless, of course, I have orders, in which case I make what the customer wants. But I'm very blessed to have a lot of creative freedom, in the sense that a lot of people will say to me, "Hey, just put whatever material you want on there, or whatever." Like this one here that.
Let me make it big. Hold on. Sorry about that.
No worries.
I only have one screen, so it really hobbles me when I try to share.
So this is one of my K-Slick minis, and he asked me to just make it however. Let's see. Can you see that?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a way to. I'm looking at the computer screen at the same time, and it's like a 5-second delay, so it's funny for me. But anyway, so that's he said just make it however, so I did.
But you've earned the right to get that artist interpretation by building such or making such cool knives.
I will accept your interpretation of that.
Because I'm sure he gave you parameters in terms of size and what he was going to use it for, and then just said, make it do that.
He knew the model he wanted, and he said, just, do whatever you want with the handle and the finish and stuff like that. So, and I'm, again, very grateful to have people who are willing to do that. And I guess you could say earned the right. I don't know if I can say that about myself, but that you say it, for you saying it, I will say thank you.
No, there's several makers. My buddy Jason Grant's one of them, where he'll show me a blank and I'll say, dude, put your mind on it and I'll buy it. Because I don't have the skill set. I can't dress myself, much less look at a unfinished knife and say that would be a cool combination, where I know if it's maker's choice, even if the colors aren't something I would pick, it's got a unique place in my collection because it's a one of a kind in a way, if that makes sense.
For sure.
I totally appreciate that opportunity.
Especially because he made it just for you.
Exactly.
He was thinking
Interpreting
nobody else but you when he made that knife.
Absolutely. You guys got any questions in the chat about Lucky Dog knives? I am hard focused on the chat.
For David Mary Custom, of course, too.
And David Mary Custom, which, by the way, I have the link shared in the video, and I will share it out on the community page. Thanking y'all for coming. We got 63 people in here now. We got B. Shady, who's been a member for 13 months. Thank you, B. Shady. I appreciate you, buddy. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions for these two, and I would say, David, you can make about anything anybody wants, right? I mean, will you commission stuff, or do you have models you like to stick to and then make variations?
I do both.
Do you have a website outside of your Instagram?
I should.
No, you shouldn't. Not if you don't.
I have a sub forum on Blade Forums, and that's what I've been doing for 4 years now, and it's worked out nicely. And
that shows up very well on the Google.
I haven't gotten the ball rolling on that just yet.
Well, you don't need to, because when I Googled you a couple of days ago, last week, your Blade Forum listings came up all positive.
Oh,
when you if you look at the above the fold, if I Google you right now and show you what shows up, your Instagram shows up, but the first thing you see is Blade Forum and another knife forum that are talking about your blades. You see the listings, and they're all positive. So you've got a good social for someone looking for your knives. Their first impression is going to be, I need to click on one of those.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, it's something I noticed because I was looking to find more information about you, but more importantly, I see it from a digital marketer. How organic is your footprint for people looking for your stuff? So if you show up at all, that's great. If you show up with positive accolades, it can be read before I even click on anything because it shows the first line of the thread, about 5 threads, right, under your heading. And they're all positive. So to me, that's very good organic placement, because you can't knock that out. That's going to be there if anybody searches it. And I'm in the States, so it showed up globally.
Interesting.
B Shady, what's up, brother? Brother B Shady, these are the saying Googled you sound so dirty. Jeffrey, it's unfortunately Google's the way I get around. I can go, hey Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 9:47 p.m.
And she listens to stuff even when I tell her not to. Don't you, Alexa? She'll put stuff in my shopping cart. I'll have a little notification, and I'll say notifications, and she'll say, this is on sale. Would you like me to put it in your cart? Like, nah.
Yeah.
I'll pass.
Do you remember the old Google motto?
Oh yeah.
What was it?
The old Google model?
Yeah, the old one. The one that they their catchphrase.
Do no evil?
Right. Don't be evil. Well,
they took that away.
Yeah, it should have been don't be evil with a winky emoji.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I've also got the Google Home because I used to be a smart home freak when it started out, and I realized I'm being surveilled. I can say something, and my phone does it anyway. I think all of our phones do it, because if y'all know me coming from the ad world, it tells us that they're little data signals that doesn't say Andrew. It doesn't say this is David's device. This is this device likes these type of things because it's listening to you. But it doesn't have your personal identifier information, allegedly. I find that hard to believe, but that's what the National Advertiser Board says. But by being able to piece together that data, that's why you can be sitting there thinking about something, it seems like, and on your Apple TV, you'll see a pre-roll ad for that shit. It's bizarre. There was a saying, I forget who said it, but Google knows you want sushi before you do.
Yeah.
It really
Like,
is predictive. I mean, think how predictive it's become. You can type in a couple of letters in Google, and it knows based on your search habits what you're likely to be searching for.
right.
Scary stuff in a way. I mean, it's helpful.
Yeah, it's kind of good and bad.
Well, for me, I like to play music. And in the old days, I had to learn by watching people play because I can't read music. But that's something that the internet has been invaluable for, to learn really any skill. Everything I learned about digital ads, I learned online. And I'm sure you learn a lot about knife design and knife making. You've
Oh,
got the resources that used to you would have to scramble around for more.
That's true. Everything's in one place. You just type on your keyboard and you can learn about anything.
Right. You might have to source through or kind of scroll through your sources to make sure you're reading the right data, but it's there.
Yeah.
It's definitely there. Guys, I'm going to drop this link. Y'all go check out these knives. I'm going to drop in David's link first too, because this is definitely worth a follow. And I'll put this in the community post. But I would go to IG and follow David. I would go to IG and follow Lucky Dog and pull him up.
Here, do you want to see my Blade Forums page?
Yes. Hold on 1 second. Let me get this in there, and I definitely would love to see it.
Okay, I can pop a link into the chat if you want.
Yeah, let me make you a moderator real quick, and then you can do that. Or you can send it in the private chat, but I can make you a moderator, and you can just post to the chat. Hold on a sec.
Interesting.
It's this weird YouTube crap. They don't want – see how everybody's got a wrench almost in the chat? That means they can post links. I like it where if you've got a link or you want to promote something, you can. Unfortunately, type in something real quick, David, in the chat. Just say hi or something. There you go. All right, you are now a moderator, and you can post that link, and I'll highlight it.
All right. Should be in there.
Let's see if it came through. I know something's going on with my mic. I don't know if it's echoing through David's, but either way, we'll get through it.
Nope, I got I got the sound turned off here. It might be because I've got the phone on speakerphone.
Put it on drop that link again because I didn't see it.
Oh, now it says I'm a moderator.
Yeah, I think it takes a second for you to. Wah, 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 wah. All right, let me go over here and click on it, and we'll look at it.
Oh, you don't have to do that.
Okay. It's easy to do.
I know. I believe you.
Yeah, but y'all check that stuff out because I mean,
it's one thing. I don't know. It's one thing to have people go look at it, which is fine. You get to see a little bit about what kind of a weirdo I am, but on video, it just I don't know. If you're going to insist, I'm not going to fight you, but.
No, hey, I'm all for what makes you comfortable. And like I say, I think your Instagram shows some just awesome stuff.
Thank you. The funny thing is, Instagram is almost, I mean, I don't want to insult any Instagram users by saying this, but Instagram is almost an afterthought for me compared to Blade Forums, is where I basically have my full, daily interactions, and there's more of a.
That's where your buyers have learned to find you, or people that seek out your stuff, it sounds like.
I guess so. Instagram, I post because, thanks, Matt Yoko. I appreciate that. Because that's where, everyone says you need to have Instagram, right? So I have it and I post there.
So when we Google you, this is how good you look when you show up. So you've got your Instagram, you got your Blade Forums, and then a lot of Blade Forums listings.
Insomniac, just like your, right?
Yep. That's my Tuesday night. That's my Tuesday night little live stream that I added.
I didn't even know about that when I made the name for that. I made it because I was up at like 3 a.m. designing this knife for the guy.
I have the weirdest sleeping habit since I was in corporate America for 10 years, and they eliminated our line of management. So I've kind of been doing I guess you call it freelance thing from home, and I don't sleep at night. So during the evening hours, morning hours, till about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm recording content. That's when I'm more productive, when it's quiet.
Makes sense.
Well, it just
Yeah.
works better that way. And then I go to bed at about 5 and sleep till 12, 1, get up and do it again. Not healthy, but it's just the way it is right now.
I mean, supposedly it's not healthy. I wish I could say that I was a 7 a.m. to whatever, like a morning riser. Used to be.
I used to be.
But something, I don't know. Lately, for the last part of the year, like earlier this year I was. This part of the year, for some reason, I'm staying up later.
I feel like whatever works with our internal clock, it's good. Unless you find yourself not sleeping at all.
Yeah, you
It
need
works
sleep.
for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I could do that, but I have to be at work at 8.
Yeah. See, I used to have to do the same thing. And 3 days out of the week, I'd travel. So, yeah, I was definitely a morning till evening guy.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
So, guys, let me know in the chat if you want to do random on the giveaway for the CMB, or if you want to do the numbers game. We're not going anywhere. We'll just go ahead and do that in case any of y'all got anywhere you got to go. So we can go numbers game, or we can go StreamYard random giveaway. Random says Mad Yako, looking for 2 more votes. Got another random, so we're there. All right. So what I'm going to do, guys, this is another free tool that comes through StreamYard. Let me see if I can get it pulled up. Where's my little button?
I'm just going to interrupt real quick, John, and
Go
let
ahead.
you know that I really appreciate that you both of you, Andrew, John, invited me to your podcast today. I'm going to leave before I get too jealous at all these giveaways.
Enter.
But thank you very much again for your kindness, and I'm, by the way, a subscriber to your channel now, so I will be keeping an eye.
Well, I appreciate it. And David, know that my Friday nights are always open. So if you've got anything that you'd like to come talk about, reach out to me. We'll get you back on. I'd love to have you or Andrew anytime.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And the other reason is my phone's at 2%. So
Oh.
Have a good night, buddy.
Yeah.
You guys have a great night, and everyone who's watching too. Thank you very much.
Nice
Bye-bye.
meeting you.
You too.
Yeah. See you later.
Thanks, Joe Isabella. Joe Isabella has sent some pictures for some additional giveaway jank. Hold on 1 second. Let's get in here. All right, guys. So in addition to the CMB, you have got some one of a kind Joe Isabella pocket jank. Look at that. Gorgeous, buddy. Absolutely gorgeous. Y'all see that? That was like a dice. Look at those chamfers.
Yeah, that's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, David's a really cool guy. I was glad he was able to join us. We weren't sure he was going to be able to make it coming in. I don't know what the time difference is there, but I have a feeling it was later where he is, right?
Yeah, 1 hour ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're Central Standard Time, right?
Yeah.
Same time as I am?
Right.
Yeah, I usually run this till, about 11:15. We got our buddies in here, Said Faction, Stevie and Maddie's Faction go live at, I think, 12:10. That gives everybody time, because what's weird about the community is we'll jump around from lives to live.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you, it's if you, and most people don't have that kind of time. Like I said, I'm happily divorced, live by myself with my cat. So I do attend a lot of live streams. I creep in a lot where I don't chat. I just listen to them.
Yeah.
But there's always one going on, and it's a great way to get your name out in the community. And I
Oh,
really
yeah.
do say these guys know that I'm not a shill. I don't shill products. And they also know I have no affiliate link or anything, any reason except for my honest opinion on this being a fantastically little made knife
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
talk about.
Yeah. Thank you for all your kind words about.
No, thanks for the opportunity to check it out. Because, like I said, I would not have known about it. I did not plan on getting it, but it's definitely worth it. So the what we're going to put in for our term is, and you do have to capitalize it. So try to do it just like I put it in here. Here we go. Let me share this. Boom. And y'all just fill up the chat with this. Must be 18, must have a USA mailing address or a proxy. Absolutely, Kyle. We'll see how late it goes tonight, but I definitely want to do that. And I definitely did not hear back from A to Z. I'll call him tomorrow because I'm sending you that A100 Monday at the latest. Why do I keep hearing weird shit coming through my ears? Let's see. All right, I think that's better. Let's get in some of our kind of low hanging chill music. We got a lot of lucky dogs coming in there. See how many we got so far. We've got 19 entries. That's not many. Y'all get them in there. This is for the Joe Isabella Jank. And y'all can email me and I will email him. And it's for the lurker. And I will do my very best as soon as this live's over to do my review, which is going to be positive. Because keep in mind, this knife right now is on sale for $30 at Amazon, $25 at CMB, or it was. $50 knife. And I've still got the Tri-Stash waiting for Rochambeau's address. This is a great knife. This is one of the YouTube creators, the one whose channel was temporarily taken down. This is a knife he designed. And it's got a button actuated frame lock. So instead of it being a button lock, it's a frame lock that I can use just like a regular frame lock, or I can push the button, which pushes the frame out of the way. Isn't that pretty cool? Golden Design Company did it on one knife, but it's different than a top liner lock because I typically find myself using it just like a frame lock because I like that frame lock. It's got a front flipper, which I'm not a fan of, but it works really well. Deep hollow grind.
Yeah.
A knife that I wasn't excited about until I got it. And when I got it in hand, I can appreciate it. All right, how many people got their lucky dogs in? Playing for KK60, but he wants the jank. Free Tri-State, absolutely. Tri-State will be freed. I think that's a total oversight. It's scary as hell to anybody who creates content because a lot of us, I know I don't back up my content, but it's really scary that could just be taken away from you for doing nothing wrong. Paul, I don't know when it got in, when they put the order in, but I can find out. I talked to him today. I texted him today to let him know I was thinking about him, not to worry, because I know he's got the same kind of ADHD brain I have. And after watching his short this morning, his reel, I felt really touched for him. I hate for anybody to go through that. Let's see what we're looking at. 34 entries. We got 34 entries with 67 people in here. I'm going to give it I'll give it a few more minutes. Y'all drop your lucky dogs in the chat and go check out Lucky Dog Knife Co. I promise you won't be disappointed. Is everybody in that wants in for the giveaway? The odds are always better with the fewer people that are in there. Ed Harrison, what is up, brother? Drop a lucky dog in the chat, my man. There's some Joe Isabella Jank, and there is a CMB lurker. Full-size knife that would fit your hand just perfectly. So drop lucky dog in the chat because I'm getting ready to pull for it. Every now and then it feels like I've got a go-kart skidding into my right ear. I don't know where that's coming from. It's coming from here. Kill that. That go away? Let's make that go away. I think that killed it. All right, is everybody in? You're in, Fed? All right, buddy. Cole's channel got taken down this morning. But it was for something that's bogus. He got a letter that it was because of nudity and some other weird, non-reasonable stuff. So it sounds like what's weird about it is that it didn't just get struck, it got taken down. So whatever system that goes through and checks all of our channels found something that they felt to be egregious enough. Now, I'm sure when somebody looks at it that's a human and realizes it's just an EDC channel, he'll get it back. At least that's what we're all hoping for. And that's the most reasonable outcome because it's happened to other people too. But I can't imagine even anybody reporting it for that and it getting any kind of traction. And why would anybody do that? So we got 34 entries. I'm getting ready to pull for it, guys. I'm getting ready. I'm sharing the screen. Yeah, you know, I don't think Shane, I don't know if he shows feet pictures because I'm not there much. Carco, what is up, brother? Brother Carco has sent me several knives that I've held on to for way too long, but they're going out tomorrow. Less one that a buddy of mine bought. He had the TV on in the background in earlier vids. Move the camera angle. Oh, did he have something on in the background? See, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't think he'd do that though. That'd be crazy. You got to be careful with YouTube terms of service. And I've noticed since I've started uploading through my computer that they change. So when you go through, do you okay that your things don't have any of these, what you call it, questionable or undesirable items? They're getting longer lists. Again, I don't feel like mine violated any of those. But we don't play in our own sandbox. This is someone else's platform. And unfortunately, we have to abide by it. And it's probably for the best. All right, guys. Y'all ready to draw? Y'all ready to see who wins? So y'all don't have to stick around. Y'all are welcome to stick around. Get ready. I'm sharing the screen. And people report you. It's not true. They can get their account banned. That's probably true. Now, hopefully, because there is an appeal process that you can, the only one I hear that's tricky is if somebody strikes you for a copyright infringement, not allowing you to remove it, but strikes the channel. The only way that you can get that removed is to go to court because YouTube is out of their hands at that point. But I think if anything that's a mistake on YouTube's part, hopefully it can get fixed. All right, guys, we're getting ready to pull. We got 37 Lucky Dog entries, and we're giving away the CMB Lurker, and we're giving away 2 pieces of Joe Isabella pocket jank that he has just shown that looks awesome. That's true, Jeffrey. I think Shane gets a pass. All right, guys, good luck. Here we go. Boom. You get my little book. Let me throw my email in the chat. Colby, the man, the myth, the legend. Colby, I think I've got you, but shoot me an email to that email right there. Let me write you down. Congratulations, buddy. And then what I'll do is I will send your email, if that's okay with Joe Isabella, I will forward your address to him so he can send you out the jank. So he doesn't have to ship it twice. So we don't have to ship it twice, if that's okay with him. But congratulations. And like I say, it may go out tomorrow if you get an email notification. But if I don't get it recorded tonight, I will record it tomorrow. And it'll go out Monday at the latest. So I do got to do a video on it. It'll be a good video because it's a good knife. And again, you can get them right now for a very reasonable price. What do you got going for the rest of the weekend, Andrew?
Not much actually. Yeah, kind of uneventful weekend for me, I think. But yeah, nothing too exciting to talk about.
Mister, what's going on, buddy? Hey, no, that's good, dude. I mean, low-key weekends are a good thing to have. I do a little members live on Saturday at 2:00 for a couple hours. Hopefully it'll be entertaining tomorrow. Usually we just hang out. But like today, man, I was beat for some reason. I slept a lot last night, but I was just very tired. Not really up for it, but sometimes you just got to sucker through, make it happen.
Yeah, I was a little tired today too for some reason, but maybe it's just the change in weather around here for us. But I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's getting cooler up there.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah, which is I probably like it better. I don't like the too much heat.
Me neither. I'm kind of a mild guy. And here in the South, unfortunately, we only get a few weeks of spring and a few weeks of fall. It goes kind of hardcore winter, hardcore summer.
Right. Yeah. Because you're in Alabama, is that right?
I am. I'm in North Alabama, so close to Tennessee.
Oh, okay. Yep. I'm just on the eastern part of Iowa, so just kind of directly north of you, probably.
Yep. Close to 65, probably. It runs north to south, interstate. No, maybe it's. You're a little. I think you're a little west of that.
Oh yeah, I'm not familiar with that. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, when I can jump on that and get to Chicago.
Oh, okay, yeah, a little west of that, then yeah.
Yeah, you're a little west of that.
Yeah.
So does everybody in the chat got big weekends planned? Hopefully some of y'all can come by the little members hangout tomorrow. And then I know we've got several other live streams tomorrow. The Night's Edge in the morning. Don't know what Cole's status is going to be Sunday morning. I don't know if he's going to go on a backup channel. I would not personally do that. I would not recommend about doing that. But he's got a really successful, he's got like 19K followers on his TikTok, which I haven't even jumped into that cesspool. I won't go with their terms of services. Have you looked at them? TikTok's terms of services?
I have
do you have TikTok? Yeah, when you go to sign up for TikTok, it tells you all the things that you're giving it access to. Oh. And on a Joe Rogan Experience, they read it. I went and checked it, and it's absolutely accurate. But not just access to your device, but access to any device your device connects with.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And just a litany of things that are just like, wow. And so many people just say, okay, because they want to get on TikTok.
Yeah.
But it feels like you're turning over your, not that we don't turn it over to every social media platform, but TikTok seems a little excessive. I apologize for the hiccuping, guys. It's more like hickelches. Brashear Bear, that sounds productive, dude. Dear Cheeto Schnitzel, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All you beautiful people.
Yeah, I think my dog is wanting to go on a walk yet tonight. He kind of
Bail out of here, buddy. You don't have to stick around. We'll hang it out for another 50 minutes. But I'm glad you came in, man, and I'm glad you reached out to me to check out your knife, and I'm glad that I fell in love with it. And it'll be in I'll do a top 5 coming up here soon, and you can bet your balls it'll be listed in there.
Oh, well, yeah. Again, yeah. Thank you for doing a review of it and featuring on your channel and everything. Because it's kind of funny because I've been watching your channel for the past year or so, and I never thought maybe you would be having it featuring on your channel. So it's kind of
full transparency, guys. It was sent to me. I was going to send it back after reviewing it. I fell in love with it, sold a knife, and bought a knife. So I'm a believer. I give it full Javon approved. If any of y'all are looking for something like that. Knife Nut got slapped with an ad. I was watching a live today and got slapped with a shitload of ads. So hopefully, I don't know what's going on there, because if you look, I can share it with you. It'll show you here that I've got ads automator off. I do this just so people don't think I'm trying to put ads down their throat. Now, YouTube has their own benefit, right? So I've got monetization on, which just means you get an ad at the beginning, but the ad automator is off. See, it's telling me here I can make 20% more if I turn it on, but I'm not going to do that because I value y'all's time. So if you get an ad, it's not me. Sweet Kyle. I'll send Kyle a link and he can jump in after Andrew jumps out. Let me get him a linky.
Yeah, so I guess I'll step out then. But yeah, thanks.
Buddy, no rush. But have a good night. Walk the dog. Enjoy it. Yeah. And thank you again for introducing yourself and being willing to come on short notice. And hopefully some of these guys will love it and will check out some of the knives.
Yeah. There you go. What are you
Hey,
doing?
man.
Yes, yeah.
Is he going to walk with you guys?
Probably, yeah.
Good times.
Yep. Do a little night walk here.
Those are the best ones.
No one else is out at this time, so.
That's one thing nice about staying up late. And I know for little people, it's not good to hear, but walking late night is very peaceful for me.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I agree.
Unfortunately, my dog passed away back around Blade Show last year, but she was old. But Tippy and I will walk. She likes to follow me around. Kyle, it is in your Instagram, buddy. I shipped it to you.
Yeah, he's been very patient all night, coming in and whining at me for the past couple hours.
Get on it with him. He's important.
Yeah. All right. Well,
nice meeting you, Andrew.
Back. Yeah, you too. Thank you very much.
Have a good night. Stay in touch, buddy. Let me know how I can help.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan.
All right. See you later.
All right, buddy. Night. All right, guys. That was cool. Yeah. Thanks for coming on the live, Andrew. As Brashear Beer says, very informative, very cool stuff. Again, something I didn't know existed and have been very, very impressed. And I will do, because the review I did today was kind of a short-term review, but I have actually been using the shit out of this little knife, and it is a little worker. Yeah, he's good people, Brandon. I think David's really good people too. And I think it's cool that they came together, because we hear about how hard it is. And it's, if you find the right people, partnerships, but I think that's everything. And I think the fact that David and Andrew seem so leaned into the same concept, that's a good partnership. And I do think of Canadian made knives as North American made knives. Yeah, the whole tri-state thing has probably made for, I don't know if that's what you're talking about, Rhodey, but what a day that's probably been. I don't know if y'all saw, did y'all see his short on Instagram? Let me go to it because it's worth watching. It's very sad. Very dramatic. All right. Let me share. Turn off the music so you can get the full dramatic effect, because he did put music, of course, knowing it's Kyle or Cole. All right. Here you go. I mean, this tugged my heartstrings. Granted, he's going to get it back. I'm not waking up. Everybody give Cole love. He's a great filmmaker, though. I mean, that's so like me, Forrest Gump. Yeah. The music, the dread. Hopefully, y'all are seeing that. I appreciate it. Anyway, you get the point. But he made a big video. Then he shared the letter, which is, I think, more indicative that it's a major mistake. Yeah, Rhodey. I mean, again, you've got to think the jingle too often. You see, I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of that, but usually, unless it's something egregious, you'll get strikes. So you'll get a strike against your channel, which gives you a chance to kind of correct your answer or correct your way that you're going. If you're pulled, it's got to be a mistake. I mean, they've got to think, or something in their AI picked up something being, hopefully he'll get a human to review it, which I think he will. And I think MC's trying to help him some. And I think MC has a contact there at YouTube, which is a good thing. So what do y'all think about my weird little pixel board back there? Paul, the joke wolf, is an awesome little knife. I love that. As a matter of fact.
Wow.
Yeah, we got to get back into our sound effects. Bama do, Bama do. Yeah, I mean, you never know from one day to the next what's going to be acceptable and what's not. So I try to be very consistent. I do cuss more than I should, but I try not to cuss, because the language wrapped around that is kind of changes quite a bit. And the only thing I've been flagged for, knock on wood, is when we'll go to Instagram and I'll show videos and stuff. If they're copyrighted, I'll have to go in and trim out that section, which no big deal. See, when I have that happen, I need to have holes pop up on the screen. I know there's some platforms, I think OBS lets you do that. Yeah, I mean, they can flag us for, think about it, just about anything. Because again, it's not our platform. But again, I'm going to be reviewing these knives. These are Omasias from Amazon. This one is great. This one, not so much, because I don't think it's intentional. But this Tanto has a slight recurve in it. I don't like it nearly as much as this Nesmuk. But these knives, I'd bought one before and given it away. and I'll give these away too, but they're $24 on Amazon. Let's bring brother Kyle Coonley, the sharpening legend, into the house. What's up, Kyle?
How we doing?
Man, we are living the dream. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing wonderful.
Kyle is going to lend his expertise and help and do some sharpening tutorials and answer questions from you guys on sharpening your knives, because sharp knives are safer than dull knives. Isn't that right, Kyle?
Absolutely correct.
How have you been, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm waiting for A to Z. He's going to go through his collection because I think he's going to have the ADV that he just bought from Carco sharpened. It's a Tonto. It's a Ronin integral. And then I want to send you the A100.
Not a problem. We can take care of those.
Absolutely. Kyle, face reveal. It'll come. It'll come. We're focusing on the knives. Look at that neat sharpening setup he's got. Which one's that again?
This is the KO3 Pro.
KO3 Pro. Is that a mat it's sitting on, or is that the base?
Yeah, this is the black mat, and then this is the actual base. These things are heavy as all get out, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that thing looks nice, dude. What are you going to sharpen on? Anything in particular?
I don't have anything necessarily sharpen on. I just wanted to come on and see if anyone had questions or if they needed to doing demonstrations or had any questions about the company or that kind of stuff.
Got a question. I don't know if you can read that, but it says if the edge is slightly more sharpened on one side of the knife, does it affect the strength of the edge?
In practical use, probably not. Technically, yes, because it's going to be thinner on one side, but unless you're absolutely beating the hell out of it, probably not noticeable.
Knife nut. That's interesting because it was a knife that I didn't want for the longest time, but I really, really love it. And just want to get it sharp because it's a good knife. It's a hard use knife. And then Mad Yako says, "Hey, Kyle, when you say we, do you mean you and your two knees?"
Me and my two knees, but I took my two knees out of the frame tonight, so you can't see them.
Yeah, I mean, you're totally clean, man. I see the city behind you, and I see your clean sharpening system.
Yeah, my knees were not ready for prime time this evening.
Taste of the knives and pizza, and Kyle agrees with this. Something I bought early on, and I've just started to use it, is you can get at Gritomatic or on Amazon one of those little jeweler loops for really cheap that have a little light on it where you can look through at your edge to see if you're, staying good. And this is a good question because I jacked up a slip joint here. Rody 7.
That's one of those.
Best clamps for slip joints, small knives on the TS Prof.
You can do a couple different things. One, you can do the small knife attachment, which is just the center clamp. Let me grab it here. I'll show you.
So that's changing the angle, I guess, in a big way, right, Kyle? Because I did not change mine out.
It's not necessarily changing the angle. So here is the small clamp attachment.
Right.
That goes on, and you can just screw these in just normal on the back, and you just have the one attachment point. Okay. There's that, or you can do what this has on it now, which is these L brackets, which I'll take off here to show you. These actually just screw onto your normal clamp. And then when you put them on, you can put them on to the point where they're actually
almost a single.
Correct. They'll actually touch. So you can do in this direction where they go in and they'll touch, and you can have basically the same thing, a center clamp, or you can reverse it.
Do you typically want a higher angle? Like it seemed like I tried to sharpen mine at like a 17 degree, and I probably should have kept it higher, like a 20 or something, for the way that the knife was originally sharpened. This was on a Boker little canoe like knife.
Oh, for a slip joint? Yeah, they typically are going to be in your 20 to 25 range, depending upon the original.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, that I went too low with it.
Yeah. Because they're going to be a thin geometry knife to begin with. So
right. So that would be the same with like a Craig Brown. that's real thin. You would probably want to keep it at a high angle. So-
Depending upon the use case and also the steel. So the first thing you got to look at is what's the steel choice, right? And then you can determine what are they going to use it for after that, and then you can determine grit and angle. So because some knives take keen edges and some knives are better with toothy edges. So it just depends on the steel, what you're using, and what they're going to be cutting with it. So
right. I think he uses a lot of 154, but I could be wrong.
yeah, 154 is typically better at a toothier edge than it is a polished edge. Especially CPM 154 will slick out really fast, so you don't want to take it up too high.
Right. And I find I guess you call it a lower grit or a grittier edge suits me better for what I cut, which is Amazon packages. Knife Nut, I think you'll be happy with the small blade attachment.
With what Knife Nut said is yes, there are options with the L brackets, but the small blade, the difference is, I don't know if you can tell on this or not, but the clamp, the actual jaws are thinner, so you can get thinner stock on there easier than you can on the bigger clamps.
where you're not hitting the stone on your clamp.
Well, there's that, but there's also if your blade spine is not very thick, it's easier to use it on the small blade attachments. Like slip joints are easier on this, but if I have a short knife, that's with a thicker spine, I can put them on the L brackets. If that makes sense. Let me grab something I can show you. Okay. So like on this, you see how thin that spine is?
Uh-huh.
That
Yep.
would be, and it's a shorter blade. That would be better suited on this because it's going to fit in here a little bit better than it would on the bigger ones, right?
Right. Because it's set up for a thinner build all the way around. The clamp is.
Right. But say you have still a reasonably shorter blade and still fairly thin stock, you can actually put them on the bigger ones like this. Gets a longer blade.
Right. So you've got. I can see what you're saying there.
So having the small blade attachment is good, especially for like slip joints.
Yeah, and that's what I've resorted to on my slip joints because I messed up that first one is just barely hand sharpening them. Knives and Pizza says, does the TS Prof convex edge attachment really work? I've never understood how that thing attaches and how it would do.
Yeah, there's a couple different ones. They just came out with a new one, which I don't have yet. It's a different adjustment, the Pro adjustment. Let me grab this and I'll show you. So here is the standard.
That's the one I've seen.
Okay. So this is the standard one, and then
Let me make you big for just a second. Hold on, so we can see that.
Yeah.
Hold on. There we go.
So this is the standard one. You can have your offsets. You have 4, 7.2, or 4.3, 7.2, and 10.7 degrees, and this is your offset. That'll actually determine the difference on there. Now the new one is basically infinite. It has an adjustable wheel in the center. That'll be actually it's already out, so that'll be available soon. But I don't have that one.
Stupid. Would you have to have a curved stone on that?
No, you do not.
Okay, so is it just taking the stone and turning it slightly? Because I couldn't understand the mechanics of it.
Yeah, so it's actually offsetting the difference between this rod and this rod. You take that off, so it offsets the difference there. So it's going to adjust the angle either 4, 7, or 10 degrees, and that's going to change the angle down here on the actual blade.
Dude, those things are so NASA engineered. I mean, that's to me above anything I could think of.
Yeah, these definitely are extremely well made. I saw another question.
Where was it? Hold on. Let me go back up. I think I'm echoing through my phone somehow.
I don't hear you. Rody, the old one, like I just showed you, that they had 3 different angles you can pick from. The new one is infinitely adjustable. It's awesome.
So where would you get your baseline angle from? Would you have to know that, or would you just do the Sharpie test, or
Yeah, I'd use Sharpie test to get an idea and then go from that point forward.
because manufacturers rarely tell you what their
Correct.
factory angle is.
Correct. Todd, no, there's not a magnetic clamp. There is an aftermarket third-party attachment if you wanted to do magnetic. I don't care. That's like the half-stone style. I'm not as big a fan as those. Here in about 3 weeks, there's going to be a new set of clamps coming out. I don't have them in yet, but they're being sent to me. I just actually talked to them today. They wanted to show them off on live, so maybe when I get them in, I can show them off again. But they are going to be quick adjust clamps. They're actually going to have a spinning top on them, so you can actually just twist, put the knife in, twist it down, so you don't have to worry about using a ratchet anymore. They're self-adjustable.
I mean, that's just so strong. I bought the Gritomatic wrenches or whatever, the screwdriver looking things from ITS Prof, because it's got like 3 different size hex bolts on it or whatever. So I just went ahead and bought the set.
Right. The new clamps look amazing. I'm excited to check them out, being the fact that they're toolless, and then also you're going to have quick adjustability, so you can in and out. Especially that's time consuming for if you're doing a bunch of knives.
Brando wouldn't mind watching somebody sharpen a knife with their feet. And that what I've noticed about TS Prof, and I've only used the one, but like I said, I bought the attachments to make it a 360. But I learned real quick that their advancements are pretty substantial between models. I mean, they're either getting a lot of customer feedback or they've got engineers working overtime.
Both. They take feedback from not only the people that are willing to do R&D like what I'm doing, but also from customers, and they really take that into account. They've got one guy on that I know specifically is just a sharpener for them that does a lot of testing themselves. So they really put an emphasis on trying to make the best product possible, and they want to grow the market. And what's crazy is learning from them that the U.S. by far is the biggest market that they have, and they just don't have enough representation here to handle it all.
To maximize the demand.
Correct, and to get the information out. So that's where I think the partnership works well with them and I, as far as being able to do some testing, showcasing things, and then getting feedback and potentially new designs.
Is there any idea or any thoughts in either of your minds of approaching some of these retailers and doing demonstrations for them and getting them involved, or are they looking to go direct more? I know they have dealers.
They have dealers. They're looking to, at this point, trying to. I don't want to speak to them because I don't know their business model completely.
No,
But
that's fine.
but from what I understand, what I kind of gathered, and this is me just spitballing, I think that they're trying to stick to more localized, specialized shops and dealers where
Right.
where they have someone who can answer
Sharpen.
questions questions, about the systems and be able to give feedback and actual customer service help like that. So,
Well, I think that's strong. I mean, I think again, I would be interested in trying one of their bigger systems, but right now I don't feel like I need it, because mine, for what I use, does fine for the knives I'm sharpening. But if I was buying now, I'm sure I'd buy something different.
I'll tell you one thing that I've noticed as the systems change and progress. They highly, or I don't know if I want to phrase this. They're all very, very well engineered, right? But as you go up the line, you can see drastic changes in improvements.
In quality.
So, and not only in quality, but also in just the overall design, and you get what you pay for.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I had the Cadet, and then prior to that, I had a buddy who had the Blitz, and they're great, and I thought my cadet was just amazing. I got this KO3 Pro in, and I mean, it's night and day difference between the cadet. I mean,
And it'd
there's
probably be hard for you when you just had the cadet to think it could be that much better.
absolutely. Okay, so the difference between the KO3 and the cadet, in my opinion, is the difference between the cadet and like the work sharp.
Really,
Yeah,
I mean, that's saying a lot.
it's unbelievable how well this is made.
That is just,
It,
I mean,
if you're going to spend any quality time doing this, then yeah, then the investment is stiff. I mean, it's a lot up front, but
well, the way I looked at it is it was as much as a hinderer, right? So if I'm going to sharpen nice knives, and for me, sharpening's therapeutic. I enjoy that kind of like cutting, right? I like
right.
sharpening knives. So to me, it made sense to spend a little bit more on the system because of the value of the knives that I was sharpening. That's how I rationalized it in my brain. And it was
I
more fun
completely
to do.
agree. The fact that people will have thousands of dollars in knives in their collection and don't want to put them in a case or are afraid to get a nice sharpener and learn, that's each their own. I mean, but I think it's the maintenance of them makes sense if you want them to last.
Yeah, and again, I think a lot of it because like Lefty had one for a while, an early one, and he doesn't like to sharpen, so he gave it to Backpack B, who likes to sharpen. Which to me, I think sharpening is part of the hobby for me. And I'd like to learn to freehand sharpen, but I know I won't because A, I don't have a place to set it up, and B, I probably don't have the patience to start because I'm kind of rolling with my little TS Prof.
Okay. Let's
Nice that
see.
might have a cadet for sale soon.
Well, he asked a question about Tanto. Let me grab one. I'll show you. So, hey, what was the question? Let me see it again.
Let me see if I can find it. I should be.
Would be best to treat, yeah, Tantos you treat like two edges. So let me get this out of the way. There you go. So what I'll do is first this from the flat to the coat, which is actually the secondary point. Okay, that is what you'll sharpen. What I sharpen first. Then this side, then flip flat here, and as I'm doing that, I'm trying to match this point and this point. Does that
And
make
you're
sense?
keeping it clamped. Yes, but you're keeping it clamped the same way. You're just adjusting your ankle when you move from that point.
Correct.
Okay.
Now there's different ways to look. So like if you have like a Chris Reeve, where it's a super severe change in angle from the flat to the tip, then you can readjust and actually look at treating this as a different angle. If you're doing that, then I would do the flat all the way through all my stones, and then go back and do the Tanto as a separate through your stones. But you have to make sure that you're blending both of them to get to that point correct.
Yeah, that would be probably tricky. That would probably make me a little bit nervous.
It's not bad. It's just getting used to the point of, learning to stop there so that you're not
Do you let it
rolling
hang
that point.
over like it was a point? Would you let it like split the difference like a regular point, or do you try to stop right where that edge is? You know what I'm saying? How?
Let me do this. I'll show you real quick. What I would do, granted this isn't all the way, it's not going to be clinking, but what I would do is I would actually take a stone, I'll put my finger here and try to stop it before it gets to that point.
Okay.
So that way,
Make sure it's easier to blend.
yeah, and then when I come this way, I'll go and stop at that point, and then I can get the loop out, look and see which side needs to be blended more. And then same thing, I would need to flip it and check and make sure that that point is the same on both sides as well too.
Dang, he's not. I don't think he's reading them. They're fucking with you, Kyle, and you're not defending yourself, but that's because you're focused.
Absolutely. I expect nothing less. That's the best way to do it. And Pickle Mouth has nothing to talk about.
And it still probably cuts great, doesn't it, Brando? Or Bando? Which really is all that matters.
Yeah, Benchmade sharpened for free, but they also suck. So
yeah, I've heard that that's like their apprentices that are learning to sharpen.
well, that, but they also just run them across a belt too. So
Knives and pizza. I think a lot of us are like that. I think a lot of us are selling them before they ever get dull. After we flipped them a while. I've
and
rediscovered mine.
dang Ross, that is 100% correct. You're allowed to punch up. We all know you're 5'4".
That's funny. Yeah, Benchmade's my mini Adamas is a great knife. I'm a big fan of the 940. A lot of people don't like it, but I do. I like my bug out. Dang, Ross, we're about the same height. I've got you by a couple of inches. Not too many. So you guys got any questions for the sharpening wizard in the house?
Any product questions? Any grit questions? Any?
I'm still confused between my how my Veneves grit out, but I don't worry about it because I know where I need to stop.
So that is the F base rating. That is a European Russian base. There's also
C.
What? I'm sorry.
I think there's a C. There are two different little things on the back of them that are both worn off.
Oh yeah, so that'll be an F. So it'll be like F240, F150, F400. That's the rating. I've got a chart that I can break it down and show you what that equates to. We're used to standard JIS ratings. So like when you say 1,000 grit, that's roughly equivalent to an F400 and beneath.
Right, gotcha. Yeah. Knife Nut's asking stone conditioning when and how. I've got an answer for that, but I don't know if mine's right.
Okay, so what I typically do, I'm a little more picky just because I'm doing it all the time. I try to I'll clean them, and what I mean by clean them is I'll take a soft nylon bristle brush with some barkeeper's friend and some water, and I'll clean those about every 5 to 6 knives just to get off any metal residue.
I do that with every sharpening because I'm not sharpening as many.
I used to, and it doesn't matter.
Well, if you're sharpening as many as you are, yeah, I just do it before I dump out my powder and actually flatten them.
And then what I'll do is when I get ready to condition them, truly flatten them and lap them, I'll do that by every 30 to 40 knives. What I end up having is, let me grab it. I've got a piece of float glass like that.
That's what I've got.
And some
oxide,
silicone carbide.
That's what it's called. Do you mix it equal parts, a cap of that and a cap of water?
I just pour a little bit on there, and then I just put my finger in a stir and then put a little bit of water, make it like a volcano, and then mix it up. And then you take your stone and you take a pencil, which I don't have one. Oh yeah, I did. Here we go.
Make little hatches on it.
Yep, and just draw cross marks across it in both directions, and then put it on your
mixture
slurry, and just do circle H with it in both directions. Flip it around until all of this is completely gone, and then boom, you're done. It's completely flat, and you're good to go.
Yep, that's what I picked up. One of those kits from Benchmade. It didn't have the different grits. I think you've got the different whatever you used to call that silicone carbide, the different grits for the different stones. Mine just came with one bag of stuff.
Yeah, I typically, as you go up into stones, you can drop your rating, but I just typically, I'm doing 120 on most of mine. I don't have any issues with it. So
yeah.
Like I said,
friend is great, Demonoc. I have a little nylon brush that about half the bristles are worn off because I've been just using them on stones. But I'll put a little Dove soap on there, and then I'll dump Barkeeper's Friend on my stones, and then just scrub them, and they get pretty clean. Then I'll turn them sideways, shake them off. Kyle, how do you clean a strop or reset it or whatever, or do you just wash it?
So it depends on what compound you have on there. If you have on, so here, let me grab one. If you have like a diamond compound like this, okay, and that's starting to get a little bit worn and I need to put some more on there, I can just put more over top of that and just keep going. But if I wanted to completely get rid of that, what I do is I take just one of those old-fashioned erasers,
Mm-hmm.
run it across there, throw my strop across the room,
That gets it off, huh?
and that will take it all the way off.
And then on the ones where you use the wax, isn't there? Don't you put olive oil or something weird on there, or you can just scrape? I just scrape
put
mine
that
with a knife.
You put oil on it typically prior to putting it on, so it goes on easier.
I got you.
Yeah, there you go. And then that gets it pretty much, and you just keep going until it goes all the way off there, and then you put more on there.
Well, I've got several of those erasers, and I've got a pretty good strop that I've got to order some more from. I get Gunny Juice 6 micron, I think, and I'm out of it right now, and mine's in need of more.
Dang, Ross, I don't need to rotate my desk. I'm trying to go vertical by going horizontal. And yes, throwing it is the key to get rid of your excess compound.
Let's see what else we got here. Your desk is a vertical mode. I'm thinking about doing my Tuesday nights in vertical mode because, ironically enough, for some reason, there's so many more views. I don't know why it is. And I'm not in it for views, but when you look at a 30-minute vertical you did and you made $12, and then you look at a 3-hour one and you made 37 cents, you're like, what's going on here?
Dawson, you go 1/6 of the strop, then you throw it, you pick it up, do a little bit more, throw it again, and then you should be good to go for the rest of the strop.
I missed that question.
He's just being funny, so I was playing back with him.
I got you. I got you. So are those, I guess that you can adjust for the width of your stone too, or the thickness of your stone?
Yeah, so it's got a stone adjustment up here where I can put this one in there, and then if I go to a thicker stone, like that strop I just had out, I keep my angle the same still. I can just raise this up to that, and then.
So you're not even having to do your little clicky angles like you do on.
Oh, no.
It's set up where you just stick it in there and it adjusts everything else.
Yep.
Dude, is that like a $600 system or a $900 system?
These are like, I think $850 to $900 range.
It's a nice system.
What's that?
It's a very nice system.
Yeah, and they are worth it. But like I said, I'm never going to sit there and say, hey, go buy it if you don't want to put an investment into it, because they are an investment. But you definitely get long-term value out of it.
Mike, he's got it set up that way because he's not really sharpening right now. We're just talking and answering some questions. So
is that better for you, Mike?
What questions you guys have? I'll tell you, the finger trick helped me a lot, getting my tips burred up more readily. Yeah,
Bando, that works as well too.
Bando. Like I'm gonna start ending these lives with, what did we learn today? We learned to send Kyle our shit if we want it sharp.
That can make it easy. All right, Dean's got 2. Do I have a backlog? Not typically. What I try to do is I try to keep my turnaround times at a week or less. I don't like to hold on to people's stuff. Right now, by the time someone sent me something, I would be free. I've got some projects going on, and I try to keep a steady pace. I don't ever like to put people on. I like to close my book, so to speak. So I try to keep things at a kind of steady pace. So,
Lord Dita, what's going on, buddy? Dude, enjoy that. I'm glad you stopped in, and take care of that and have fun. Enjoy your getaway. Dang, Ross wants to know how much for his mower blades.
Dang, by the time you ship it here and back in my cost, you better off buying a new mower.
Good to see you, Lord.
Hey, Needham.
I love it. I love it. Dang, Ross is willing to pay. He needs sharp mower edges. I'd buy one of those pucks, brother, and just go out there and whittle on that bitch. That's what I did on my mower blades, and it still knocks the weeds down, but whatever.
Dang, Ross has been talking about sending me a knife for a year, so I'm not worried about him sending me a mower blade.
Well, I'm actually sending you out the A100 either by itself or with A to Z's next week. I've given him 2 days. He had a gig tonight. He plays in a cover band that plays all over the Southeast called the Beastie Boys. Have you ever heard the Beastie Boys?
Of course, of course, the Beastie
Dude,
Boys.
these guys sound just freaking like them. I mean, they're older dudes too. It's a trip. How long did that M4 take? Knife Nut wants to know. That's his number 2 question. Let me see his number 1.
I only saw one from Dean. Did Dean have a second one?
No, but Knife Nut, how long did that M4 take?
The one last night? God, it was like almost 90 minutes to get through the first stone.
That's an awesome deal, Kevin Smith. The Beastie Boys, and they've got a YouTube channel. Let me go to their YouTube channel. Let's find the Beastie Boys. Beastie Boys. And then my buddy Jeff will copyright strike me. All right, here they are.
Knife Nut. The reason why it took so long, it wasn't that the M4 took that much longer. It was the fact that it didn't have a bevel at all. So I had to cut in a bevel totally just to get to the point where there was anything. So that's why it took so long to cut it in.
There's some pro shot stuff too. This is just rehearsal. That's just rehearsals, but those guys, dude, they get into the shit. Where are they? Why aren't they coming up? Did I spell it wrong? No, boys. They've got a page. Where is it? Best party in the South. That's not it. That's
There's a number 1 hit, Midlife Crisis.
they don't have any hits. They're just they cover a couple of other songs too. Like other rap songs, but I can't think of what they are. I don't see their page. So they need some SEO help. Let's go. Beastie Boys Huntsville. Let's do that. Add a
Sorry if I'm missing any questions.
I need to be looking, but I'm not. I'm on the wrong page. I'm coming right back right now. Here we go. I get into my weird shit late night. All right.
Brody, good question. No, I don't subscribe to the counting strokes method. What I end up doing is I will work on one side until I'm getting, well, take a step back. If it's a factory grind and the bevels are reasonably even, I will work one side until I get the bird and then flip it and go to the other side. If they're not even, what I'll do is I'll start on one side, typically the smaller of the 2 sides. Go
ahead, buddy. I'm sorry.
Try to work that until I get a little bit more height on that, and then I'll work the other side and go back and forth until I even the bevels out, and then I will work until I get burrs on both sides. So it depends on what you're trying to accomplish out of it, but yeah, I mean, if you've got a decent grind on both of them, then yeah, you just work one side, go to the other. And the big thing is chasing the grit. And I was telling this to Javon, it's not so much chasing the burr, it's chasing the grit. So when you look at it under a loop, and that's why these are important, when you look at it under a loop, you'll see your grit pattern. And if you can get the grit to go from the top of the bevel to the bottom bevel evenly from the heel to the tip, then you know when you flip it, you will feel, and there will be a burr there, as long as you have completely got that all the way down to the bottom and apexed it. So when I go to the other side, same thing. Chase that grit all the way down, and then you'll have a burr on the other side. If you can get a burr and not have a completely even scratch pattern with your grit pattern. So I am big on chase that grit, chase that scratch pattern.
Because that's gonna make everything else work out even better.
Correct.
And Dean, like the reason we were talking about cover bands is because my knife buddy's in that band. So we weren't talking about cover bands in general. I was just talking about A to Z's band. Did you see Dean's question?
Dean, that all depends on several things. One, what the knife is going to be used for, what steel it's in, what the client wants, and how slicey do you want it to be comparable to how durable do you want it to be. As you go down in angle, you will get it sharper, but you will lose toughness.
Right.
So if you're going to be using it for just opening letters and whatever else, yeah, you can go lower than what's, most factory edges are, 20 to 25, somewhere in that range. If you, and it also depends on the thickness of the blade too. It's like if you have a super thick blade and
It's
you
gonna
don't,
be a pain in the ass to get it down.
well, it's going to be a pain in the ass for one, but if you don't want to have a huge bevel, then you don't want it to have a low angle on it, because that's going to make the bevel much, much taller.
Right. I know exactly what you're saying now. Good evening, Gabe. Welcome, buddy.
So that all depends on what the use case is going to be. And there are good guidelines, but there's no right or wrong answer for that. It's going to be dependent upon what you're using it for. And then also, some steels are better at edge stability, so you can take them a little bit lower and not have to worry about it.
Right. Like Spyderco's, depending on the steel.
Dean, you can, but it's going to cost you in time and in labor.
And in that case, you'd probably want to go maybe have it ground.
I mean, okay, one of the most, I don't want to phrase it. One of the longest sharpening sessions I've had to do was I took a Medford AR-75, an S90V, and the person wanted it down to 17 degrees.
Holy shit.
And that thing is massively thick.
Because that's the Strider made by Medford, right?
Correct. And that one was, I want to say, close to 3.5 hour session. And I'm not using just like basic stones. I'm actually using, so like at the time, I think
What's up, Bama?
my reprofiling stone is this one, which is a Poltava 60 grit CBN stone. So it's eating material fast, and it still takes that long. So it makes a big difference when you're changing angles on thicker blades.
Yeah, it's good to have. Jared got me hooked up with a Tomy 150, I think, for my first set at reprofiling. Ron Crow says, how often do you like to strop or sharpen? And I guess that depends on the condition of the knife, right?
Yeah, so you do it in reverse. So as you sharpen a knife, you sharpen, you deburr meaning honing with your stones, and then you go to strop. Well, in reverse pass, as your knife starts to dull, you want to strop. If stropping doesn't work, then you can try honing it. If honing it doesn't work, then you can go back and actually do a full sharpening.
Right, because you want to try to keep all the blade steel on the blade if you don't have to.
Yeah, there's no point in wasting extra steel if you don't need to.
Unless you're weird like me and you've got a sharpening fetish, then you're just an idiot.
Well, it depends on the steel too. So like if you get a knife that's got a burnt edge from the factory, you can get one or two sharpenings out of it, and it's not going to hurt to take those off and get a better edge that's going to last.
True.
Really, yeah. It makes, dude, when you're doing this all the time, having a good your first stone is going to be your most important stone. And that's why I have no
That's the
problem
one that
spending.
cuts. Yeah, that's the one that you got to get your apex set on, right?
Correct. Everything else from that point forward is just refining. So I have no problem spending a bunch of money on a good reprofiling stone and going very aggressive. Yes, you can, if you mess up, you can mess up bad quick, but it makes my life much easier because I can get to that point where it's apex faster. I spend less time sitting there messing around doing it. I can get it apex, move on to my polishing stones and refining stones, and I'm, done in a lot less time.
And in all truth, with a system like that, you're rarely going to mess something up if you're paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, there's that too. I mean, the thing, these are pretty much set it and forget it, but there are definitely
Yeah, you got to
tricks
pay
tricks
attention.
of the
Yeah,
trade as far as
exactly.
getting better, progressions and jumping forward. But most people who have any hand-eye coordination will be able to do this. Just a matter of practice.
Maddie, we're getting ready to break up and get ready to come see you guys.
Maddie, I bet you wouldn't say that to my face.
I know he would. He's a big old dude. I know you've seen him. He looks like Sasquatch without hair. And I say that with he's the most gentle giant, but he is a giant. I guarantee you he's almost 7 feet tall. 6'8". How tall are you, Maddie? We'll have to subtract 3 inches because Maddie will. I'd say it to his face naked.
Just easier to punch him.
Well, you guys
around
got any more
drills.
questions for Kyle before we break out of here? I'm going to go grab some food and get ready for said faction in an hour or 45 minutes.
Good question, by the way, guys.
All good questions. And Kyle's going to be a regular joining us if he has time, kind of later in the evenings to answer questions. So I think he's a great resource for the community. And if we can get him to share with us what he knows, that's a good thing. Helps me. And I'm sure it helps you guys too.
Matt, you're taller than 6'5".
5'17". That sounds better. Let's see. That's 6'5". Big old boy. All right, guys. You got anything, Kyle? Before we say peace out?
I don't. I'm good. I just wanted to make sure everyone got their questions in. And another thing too, guys, if you have any questions that you think of later, I'm always available. Just reach out and I'll try to help you the best I can. Feel free to message me, even if it seems silly, because we all have to start somewhere and learn. So I'm more than willing to help people out.
Steve, can you sharpen these? Night, Colby.
Stevie, no, I have a small limit on what I can actually put in my area to work on, and yours are too small.
Too small. Wouldn't work. Well, kids, y'all have a great night. Do me a favor. Look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Remember what we learned tonight. Couple things. Cool knives, Lucky Dog knives, and sharpening tips from Kyle. I love each and every one of you. I will be live tomorrow for the little members gig for a couple of hours at 2. Love you all. Kyle, I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you for having me. Take care.
Anytime, my man. Y'all be good. Talk to you soon. Peace.